So, ladies and gentlemen, we are ready for top 16, and welcome back to you live stream viewers. We are just getting our top 16 guys out. Ladies and gentlemen, here at Driftland, as these guys come past, hit them with a wall of sound, like I say, putting it all on the line and changing weather conditions for your entertainment today. Here are your top 16 drivers, Driftland. Make them welcome. So, ladies and gentlemen, as they approach you, give them a round of applause, your top 16 drivers. First up and topping qualifying is an unstoppable force of Martin Richards. Martin Richards, what a guy, what a drive today. How you feeling, buddy?
Yeah, everything's going really good. Top qualifying, like all the other guys doing the qualifying session there just set me off, and luckily we came on top.
Well, you're looking strong. We wish you all the best of luck. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Driftworks, Martin Richards. Next up, your 2017 Pro-Am champion, Scott Cartledge. Scott, carrying some momentum coming into this season. How are you feeling?
Yeah, feeling good. I'm in last year's car, obviously, which is not really what I wanted, but it's going to plan, so yeah, it's good.
Feeling confident?
As confident as I can be against first place qualifier, yeah.
Listen, nobody's unbeatable, but there he is. Look, he's staring you down, giving you the look. He's ready for it. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Birchwood Motor, Scott Cartledge. This guy, rookie season in the Pro Championship, but looking like he's been here for years. How are you feeling right now, Martin Wonnacott?
Mate, I don't know what I'm doing here, really. Like, yeah, I was struggling this morning, and just went out in qualifying and just didn't seem to feel any nerves today for some reason, and just went for it, and the first run worked.
Well, listen, you look like you've been here for years and you look rock steady, so congratulations, and we look forward to seeing you later on. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Martin Wonnacott. This guy, he's a bouncer at night, a hydraulic engineer during the day. Last round, you took out Matt Carter. Lee Barker, you must be feeling really good.
I feel like I've had my Weetabix the last couple of rounds. I don't know what's going on.
Well, it looks like it. How are you feeling right now? I'm guessing who you got? Are you Aramis Fiscalis? Martin Wonnacott. Wow, listen, he's looking strong. How are you feeling about that one?
He is looking strong, but I'm optimistic, so I'm going to go in. No holds barred.
Well, there we go. Fighting talk between these guys. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Midnight Motorsport, Lee Barker. Finally, this guy has managed to keep a car together. Aramis Fiscalis, few quick words. How are you feeling? Car's holding together, you looking good? I mean, the qualifying run was phenomenal.
Yeah, I'm happy. It's fixing cars. Thank you, Scott's friends. And I'm feeling strong and I go hard. Yeah.
Well, he's the man with no brain, apparently, when he gets behind the wheel. Give it up for the smoke machine from Lithuania, Aramis Fiscalis. Look how calm and cool this guy looks. Look, local guy, Callum Marshall, rocks up yesterday, turns over the Pro-Am class. Callum Marshall, dude, how do you feel? Pro top 16.
Speechless. Absolutely speechless.
Well, I mean, a man of few words, but behind the wheel you're a demon. Good luck in top 16. Give it up, ladies and gentlemen, for Callum Marshall. Wow, look at the support for the local guy. Up next, DKM, Slide Motorsports, Matt Stevenson. Matt, straight into that top 8. You must be feeling good.
Yeah, qualifying's not normally my thing, but it seems to have pulled it out of the bag today, so let's see the battles.
Well, listen, it's a battle of who is the most handsome. Apparently, Nathan Black said he's a Mexican, so you feel a little bit better on that side?
I can beat the Mexicans.
Oh, wow, you can beat the Mexican. Well, we'll have to see how it goes down. Driftland, give it up for Matt Stevenson. You made it through the top 24 against Simon Perry. You must be feeling good, carrying some momentum from round 2. How'd you feel, Paul Smith?
Yeah, I had a couple of issues with the car, but limped it through qualifying. But now we're in battles, do or die.
Listen, you said to Nathan Black earlier that you was only going for the top step of the podium. You ever made it there this year? You feeling confident about getting there today?
Yeah, I'm hoping for a bit of rain actually. It'll help out with the car, and yeah, I'm sure we can do it.
And how'd you feel about going against, he's giving you the eye, Matt Stevenson.
Yeah, look at those eyes.
Just look at him.
Yeah, we'll take him this time.
Oh, there we go. Some more fighting talk. Top 16s are lining up good. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Paul Smokey Smith. Right now, the most pound-for-pound heavyweight drifter of the world. Can I say that? Unbeaten UK and Ireland, Dwayne McKeever, tipped to the top step by Martin Richards. How'd you feel?
Yeah, well, my 2 qualifier run wasn't that happy with him here today, but paced it, yeah, anyway, I'm sitting second, I'm happy enough, yeah, very happy, over the moon with that, but definitely felt a lot more confident in practice this morning, so hopefully I'll pull it back together again for the battles.
Well, listen, you're undefeated in UK and Ireland. You're looking unstoppable. We wish you all the best of luck. Give it up, ladies and gentlemen, for Tri-Ace Tyres, the Northern Smoke Machine, Dwayne McKeever! Adam Simmons, you didn't have an easy ride here. Sultan El Khatimi took you to one more time in that HGK Eurofighter. How'd you feel making it with your teammates?
Good, isn't it? Always here. Top 16. Can't go wrong with it, really.
So who are you battling? Wow, feeling confident or?
Well, his car's got a break soon, hasn't it? He's already done a season's worth of work.
Oh, so you're hoping for a bit of a mechanical failure. He's looking over with that fighting look. Listen, it's going to be a hard-fought battle. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Slide Motorsport driver Adam Simmons. You made it through to the top 16. Your dad bowed out. How'd you feel about that one?
I don't know what to say. He's happy with it.
watching.
Yeah, he's fuming. Look at his face. So I don't know. I'm just happy to be here. So I'll just give it 100%.
Listen, the judges earlier said that you had one of the best lines in qualifying. Does that make you feel really confident?
Well, more nervous.
Well, listen, we wish you all the best of the luck. We know your dad's going to be up there cheering you on. Give it up, ladies and gentlemen, for Brett Perry. You nearly got taken out in a catastrophe against Christian Christensen. Mike Marshall, former champion, in the top 16. How you feeling?
A lot more confident than the last 2 rounds, so hopefully this time we can get to the top step.
Listen, the car looks well. You look like you're driving it a lot better. It looks like you've done some development work and it's working for you. We wish you all the best of luck, Mike Marshall. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for M&M Engineering, Mike Marshall. This guy has had the worst luck in 2018 ever, but it looks like right now you've got that car working 100%. Coming back from Europe, you're looking on form. 2017 champion, Matt Carr, how do you feel?
I'm feeling good, yeah. After our first round in Poland and Hungary, and yeah, things didn't go too good. But yeah, car's back on form. We've had it at Garage D, done a load of work, feels fresh, so I'm pumped.
There you go, an on-form Matt Carter and a car that's working 100%. Give it up for Jap Speed, Maxis Tyres, Matt Carter! Ian Phillips, the business, you got the business done. You didn't look good in practice earlier on, I'm sorry to say it, but you pulled it out of the bag when it mattered, and look at you right now, Pro Top 16. How you feeling?
We've broken the curse. Ever since I built this car, we've only ever gone against like Martin Richards, Grinrod and stuff like that in the top battle and been knocked out. It's wicked to be here doing the top 16 parade with you guys. So yeah, can't wait to be sticking it on that man's door.
Wow, there you go, a confident Ian Phillips. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Ian Phillips. Very quiet and reserved, but you drive one of the most outlandish cars on the grid, a supercharged LSX E36. You're looking good. You look like the fastest man around this circuit. How are you feeling?
We're feeling confident. Just keep it on the black stuff, isn't it?
That's been a bit of a challenge for some of our guys so far. Changing weather conditions, making it difficult?
Yeah, hopefully the wet stuff stays away. It just makes it bad for everybody, doesn't it?
And you got Jason Clark.
Yes, we have. So I've played with him before, so it's not like a new guy I'm battling. So it'll be interesting.
A bit confidence.
A little bit.
There you go. A confident Richard Grimrod. Give it up for Driftworks. Richard Grimrod, ladies and gentlemen. And last but by no means least, the man that me and Eddie Power pipped as one of the guys to keep your eye on. And well, looky, here you are in the top 16. Jason Clark, how you feel?
I feel really good. It's the third round of my first year in pro, and to be in top 16 at all 3 rounds is a good achievement, I feel. And I'm not stopping here.
Well, there we go. You've got Richard Grimrod in your way at the moment, and he said you've had a bit of a play together before. You feel you've got the upper hand in that one?
I can't see it being a problem.
Oh, there we go. No problem for Jason Clark. It's Richard Grimrod. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Jason Clark. So, ladies and gentlemen, that means there's only one more thing left to do, and that is kick off our top 16. I want to hear everybody here, all the way from the Driftland shop, all the way round to the end of the wall. Raise the roof. Ladies and gentlemen, for your top 16! That's pretty good. That leaves me with one more job left to do. Gentlemen, make some noise for Driftland. Eddie, it's back to you.
Thank you, Ian, and of course, yes, our top 16, a lot of fighting talk there. I'm joined in the tower, David Egan. You've been sitting in the judge's seat all day today. Talk us through what your experience of the action so far today. It's been pretty intense.
It's been pretty intense, and it's also been pretty difficult. I think that drop of rain that came down just before the top 24 threw everybody off kilter. There was a lot of messy battles there. In fact, in the judging seat, we said we were going to have a tough day today with everyone going so well. We actually didn't in the top 24. They were kind of deciding themselves. That is not going to be the case now. It looks like the rain has stayed away. It looks like we've got full dry conditions. There's a lot of hunger on that grid, and there's a lot of guys that we're saying are pushing very much on the limit, and we're going to see a couple of battles decided by that, I think, as things go on. Obviously, Dwayne McKeever coming in here as the man undefeated this year, and that also puts some pressure on you the more rounds you go along, that you're trying to keep that record alive. You know, Martin Richards laying down the gauntlet with the higher qualifying run. There was very little in it from our end, but Martin pushed a little bit harder. He actually took a big risk on initiation and qualifying, which we were sure he was going to end up in the gravel. He pulled it off, and that goes to show if you want to beat Dwayne McKeever, you not only have to be at your best, you've got to be exceptional, and I think guys are going to take risks against him today, which is going to be very exciting to see. Have the rest of the guys on the grid, they've all pulled out sensational runs at one stage or another. They've just got to tie those together now, and especially with this track, and we see it every single year, it's a really, really tough game when you start getting to those final couple of battles and keeping your nerve and keeping your cool. I'm really looking forward to it.
Yeah, and the thing about Richards is that he has podiumed twice this season already. The only other man apart from Dwayne McKeever to manage that, Dave, he tops qualifying, and he looks, as you say, like he's pushing that little bit harder. He knows what it takes. He said he's been watching Dwayne McKeever, and he's found, you know, the little things that he's doing that makes the difference. Do you think that could be enough, that could sway it in his favour today?
I think every battle's going to be a tough one. He's got a tough first battle against Scott Cartledge here. I'm looking forward to seeing how the action goes down. I'm going to take my seat over with the rest of the guys in the judging panel. I'm sure we're going to have a long evening ahead and a lot of tough calls to make, and I'm looking forward to every single battle that's about to go down. Great atmosphere here in Scotland. We're loving everything about it, and we hope you guys enjoyed the show.
Well, thank you for joining us, Dave, and of course we will talk to you for decisions throughout the rest of the event. I'm joined back in the tower by my good friend and co-commentator Ian, and you know what, Ian, some of the guys really pumped down there on the for the top 16 parade, and we are almost set. Martin Richards going to kick off the top 16 against Scott Cartledge. You know what, things are starting to get serious down there now.
Yeah, listen, a lot of those guys are pumped, and like you see, a lot of those guys have already battled each other, so they're not scared about it. And look at this, the first battle up and ready to rock and roll. On the line, it will be Martin Richards to take on Scott Cartledge.
Yeah, and Scott Cartledge essentially, you know, qualified directly into the top 16 with Neri just not being able to get that car out running in the top 24. So both of these drivers, their first battle of the day.
Yeah, and it looks like we are ready to rock and roll. It will be Martin Richards to lead out Scott Cartledge, being the first place qualifier.
And for Martin Richards, this is job one on his way of what he will hope to be top step of the podium at round 3 here in British Drift Championship Driftland in Scotland. Here we go, nice line already from Martin Richards.
Yeah, Martin Richards firing it in. And look at this, not a lot of separation from Scott Cartledge. We know both these cars equally matched on horsepower.
Yeah, but Cartledge really needs to make the dive now in and start to close the gap, because Richards, while he hasn't really pulled away too much, he has a nice steady gap throughout.
Yeah, exactly. No change in proximity from Scott Cartledge, only at the end of the run where he lost ground.
Lost ground, yeah, as you say. So, you know, I think when you're going up against, you know, a championship contender like Martin Richards has one man on his mind right now, and it isn't Scott Cartledge, it's Dwayne McKeever. He is looking ahead to the prospect of seeing him in the final. But you know what? We expect him to go close here. But can Cartledge find some speed in this car and pull a little bit of a gap himself?
Yeah, listen, it's expected of Martin Richards to be on the door. Like you say, currently way up the order in the championship. But can Cartledge find some pace? Like you say, Eddie, and try to drive away. That's going to be what his spotters are telling him. You need to have a bit of gap on him. But they come off the line. It will be Richards to chasing Cartledge. And look at this, Martin Richards right on the back bumper of Cartledge's car. He throws it in on the door. And and a big mistake from Cartledge. Almost contact. Martin Richards narrowly avoiding making contact.
And Richards goes 4 wheels off.
Martin Richards falls 4 wheels off track, and it looks like he's broke a steering arm. So maybe the contact with the front of Cartledge's car causing an issue to Martin Richards' R32. We're going to need to see a replay of that. I know
think the judges going to come back to what's happened at on the run in here as well, Ian.
So for you guys in attendance, you can take a look at the big screen in the middle of the circuit there as we see Cartledge pull back. What happened? Yeah, look at that contact. Martin Richards' wheel hit Scott Cartledge's door, and both wheels facing opposite directions. So Martin Richards now struggling, trying to get the car off circuit, but it looks like it's beached behind the curb with a snap steering arm. It's not going to be easy to get out of the gravel.
No, certainly not. I'm just wondering if we could maybe grab a replay of what happened just on the run-in as well, as you know, it looked as though Richards, was he over-aggressive? Was he impeding the line of the lead driver? And you know, Scott Cartledge could be in a position now where he's taking down the highest qualifier and moving on into the Grade 8. Could we see it? Here we see that replay. Look at them side by side.
Yeah, just can't see from that angle, unfortunately, Eddie. Look at this. What happened to Cartledge's car? That's the biggest question that needs to be answered. What happened to Cartledge? Why did he straighten so much coming into point 2?
And did that straighten cause Richards causing damage to Richards' car? Then,
Richards fired in very, very aggressive on initiation. Unfortunately, whatever happened with Cartledge's car caused the error. So result is coming in. We're going to make it official. Judges know what went down. Left for Cartledge, right for Richards. Kieran, David and Ben. And there we go, ladies and gentlemen, unanimous shots. First place qualifier, Martin Richards gets the win. We're going to head over to our judge, Dave Egan, just to find out exactly how they got that one to where it is.
Yeah, it's coming down to rules and criteria again. So also, obviously, on the first run, Richards takes a big advantage, and that's not really where this battle is decided. Now, obviously, if you see a car 4 wheels in the gravel, you're thinking, how has he won the battle? Well, it's what caused him to get there, essentially. Cartledge initiates. He's very slow in initiation. He has an issue with the car, obviously. He comes on power, and it's actually, we have a great view here in the tower above it. He shuts down twice, and Richards has nowhere to go but hit him. So he hits him twice, and it's Cartledge's fault, essentially, for shutting off. He's not drifting. He's slowing up. And it actually breaks the front steering arm on Martin Richards' car with the contact. So when Martin goes around the corner, he has no steering. That an issue was caused by Cartledge just shutting down twice in front of him. So Martin had no option but to bail out there, or had no control of the car. So it was no fault of Martin's that he went off the track, and therefore he gets the win.
So there you go. Martin Richards gets the win, advances through to the Grade 8. Who will he be battling, though? We need to decide. It will be Martin Monaco to take on Lee Barker, but first we need to remove Martin Richards from the circuit. As you can see there, our recovery crew are doing everything they can.
Yeah, and as you say, a difficult car to recover from the circuit, with obviously both front wheels, the steering wheels of the vehicle, moving in opposite directions. So as you can see, our team working hard just to get this together.
Yeah.
And for Martin Richards, you know, I'd imagine they'll have you know, a whole host of spares in the pits, and they have a bit of time just to, you know, till the end of this bracket to get this car fixed and ready for the battle in the Grade 8. Who will be going up against, Martin Monaco or Lee Barker, in what's going to be, I think, a very, very interesting battle between two of probably the longest cars on the grid.
Yeah, two very, very big vehicles, and you know what? Martin Wonnacott, who is just absolutely, he didn't even know what he was doing in that pro top 16 parade. He's blown away. Rookie year in pro, and you know what, like I say, he looks like he's been here for years. His driving style was increased massively since he's found himself in pro. Lee Barker, though, round on round keeps evolving, and like we say, knocked out a not on form Matt Carter at last round, and look at this, a car struggling to get Martin Richards' car on the recovery truck. So don't forget, early bird tickets on sale now for round 4 at Three Sisters Circuit, September 15th and 16th. And not to be missed out, Eddie, like I said earlier, a brand new circuit for the British Drift Championship, a complete leveler for the championship as well. I mean, if we see an upset of this round, we could go into Three Sisters not knowing what the hell's going to go on.
Look, at the moment it's a two-dog race, but that could certainly change by the end of this round, and with the penultimate round in the Three Sisters Circuit in September 15th and 16th, and grab yourself the early bird tickets, but we could have a real fight in our hands, and it could be coming down to the wire. This championship ain't going to be decided today, I can tell you that much.
No, that's for sure, yeah. I mean, listen, like you say, changing weather conditions, it's dry at the moment. It does look like it's raining in the distance, and anything could happen here at Driftland in Scotland.
Yeah, look, some bright clouds coming our way, which is hopefully a sign of that it'll be dry for the remainder of the afternoon, and we would certainly take that. We don't need a whole lot of sunshine, we just need a dry track, and we can have a little bit of fun out here. And you just see a very experienced recovery team struggle hard to get this car just out of that gravel trap and up onto the recovery bed of that vehicle. We'll take a moment just to mention a quick word of thanks to all of our sponsors here at the British Drift Championship. Without their help, of course, we wouldn't be able to put on these incredible shows. AM Details, providing detailing products, chemicals and accessories to make sure your car shines above the rest. Check out their full range online now. Brian James Trailers are the industry leader in car transport trailers. They offer quality customizable trailers to suit your needs without compromise. Cosmos Racing Wheels offer exceptional strength, quality and style that makes them the #1 choice for street, drift or track. Funk Motorsport, UK's home of tuning heat management products, including their famous turbo blanket. They are also Europe's main supplier of Laminex headlight protection film. Japspeed, providers of high quality aftermarket parts and from exhaust systems, intercoolers, suspension arms and much, much more for all Japanese performance cars. JDM Distro, your #1 supplier for new and used JDM performance rims and parts. Have a drift, drag or grip machine, they have everything you need. Link ECU provide aftermarket engine management devices built in New Zealand, sold worldwide. They're the choice for the best drivers in world drifting. Monster Energy have been fueling the BDC and supporting the craziest events worldwide. Monster Energy is a lifestyle in a can. M-Tech Brakes have a high-performance car. Well, make sure you have the stopping power to match the speed. Check out M-Tech Brakes and their full range of products online. Samco Sport is the worldwide market leader in performance silicone hoses, chosen by pretty much all of our grid here for the best performance and the best-looking designs under the bonnet. We recommend Samco silicone hoses. Simpson Race Products. The Simpson manufacture industry standard products for race car drivers. Check out their full range of helmets, neck restraints, fire suits, harnesses and accessories. VP Racing Fuels is recognized by many as the world leader in race fuel technology, with a catalogue of more than 70 fuel brands and a growing roster of VP fuel champions across the entire spectrum of motorsports. Zestino Tires is the new tire brand with compounds and designs produced specifically for competition drifting, following extensive research on track in Japan. Round of applause there for Martin Richards as he exits the track on a tilted recovery bed. Hopefully that car doesn't slide backwards and cause further damage, but yeah, Martin Richards moves on to the Grade 8, and hopefully they'll be able to get that car. The team at Driftworks will be able to get the car back sorted and ready for action. And we are about to find out who it is he will be going up against, Ian, as Martin Wonnacott takes on Lee Barker.
Yeah, I mean, listen, like we said, an unpredictable battle, this one. Both these guys driving very, very well. And this could go either way. As you can see now on the screen, Martin Wonnacott to take on Lee Barker. 702 horsepower to take on 550. JZX 100 versus R34. Two big buses going for battle right now here in Driftland. And these guys are ready for action. As we get the thumbs up from our starlight marshal, will be Martin Wonnacott to lead out Lee Barker for a spot in grade 8 as they come firing down. Look at Lee Barker right on the back bumper of that JZX 100. But look at Martin Wonnacott, absolutely phenomenal lead line from Wonnacott. Lee Barker right with him on the door though as they transition down into clipping point 4. Lee Barker now needs to push a little bit more if he's going to get some valuable points in this half of the battle. As Wonnacott that's absolutely on form as he drives away and finishes a perfect lead run.
Yeah, phenomenal run there from Martin Wonnacott. And Lee Barker, you know what, Ian, for me, not doing a whole lot wrong, but just doesn't seem to have the pace for Martin Wonnacott, who's so quick through the circuit. Barker maintains steady proximity throughout it, but is it enough is the question. I think, you know, he's going to have to fend off Martin Wonnacott here now as he takes the lead position. Barker has it all to do here in the second half of the battle.
Yeah, listen, for me, like you say, Eddie, Wonnacott has the pace, so can we see Wonnacott on the door of that Midnight Motorsport R34 Skyline? Well, they get the thumbs up from our... No, they don't get the thumbs up. They do get the thumbs up from our starlight marshal. Our judge is still deliberating the first half of that battle. They are eager to go. Look at this, Martin Wonnacott is off the line. He is to chase down Lee Barker. Now Wonnacott needs to force some aggression as Lee Barker fires it in. He knows he hasn't got as much pace. He drops the wheel. And Wonnacott again on the absolutely perfect line. Now Wonnacott needs to get on the door if he's going to try and win this battle as Barker drops wheels again. This is not looking good. As Wonnacott now starts to pull some pressure on the side of that Midnight Motorsport R34. They come across the line. Driftland, give him a round of applause.
Yeah, Martin Wonnacott on fire right now. Not just the graphics on the car, but driving inside is just matching it. Barker dropping a couple of wheels, but what about the angle he pulls onto the wall into that first corner, Ian? But just can't hold it together, and the errors start to build from there. A few more wheels dropped as he comes down by the teardrop section of the circuit. But you know, just unable to deal with the aggression and speed of Wonnacott in that chaser. Wow, incredible stuff.
Yeah, so it looks like the decision is going to drop in. Who's going to take it through to the Grade 8 and battle? Martin Richards. Slide him left for Barker, right for Wonnacott. Kieran, David and Ben make it unanimous. Kieran, Martin Wonnacott gets the win and goes through. Unfortunately, Lee Barker, yeah, look at him pointing at him. You're the man. Well done. We go to our judges. Very good driving from Martin Wonnacott.
Yeah, that's right, Ian. Martin put in a really good chase run in there. The initial lead run from Martin was fantastic. Good lead run and a really good chase from Lee Barker. We gave it a 6-4 to Lee at that point. But on the rerun, Lee had 2 wheels off on clip 2 and wheels off on clip 4. Martin Wonnacott taking a 7-3 advantage there and just easing the win from Lee.
So there you go, Wonnacott taking the win over Lee Barker and advancing through to the Grade 8. We move it along. Aramis Vascalis.
I'm really excited about this one because you know what? Vascalis has really shown he's qualified before. But what about Callum Marshall? Story of the weekend for me so far. Qualifies in from yesterday's Pro-Am competition into the top 16. He's coming up against Vascalis, who is just a tyre killer, a car killer, a man whose engine has been held together by a tow strap. The story writes itself. 2 BMWs about to go to war in Scotland here on this Driftland circuit, and for me this is going to be fireworks. The Scotland flag flying.
Yeah, the Scotland flag flying off the back of Callum Marshall's car, and Vascalis fires in. Look at Callum Marshall though, shallows up ever so slightly to gain some proximity, but Vascalis on a bag line through clipping point 3 there, starts to get it back. Marshall doing everything he can to get on the door as Vascalis trying to escape, but Callum Marshall now starts to fall away. Oh, and a straighten from Marshall there. He has to reinitiate before the line.
Yeah, look, I think Marshall, knowing that the amount of smoke that Vascalis can create, that he needs to shallow up and get onto the door as soon as possible just so that he can see his way around the circuit, because he very quickly get lost in that smoke. But at the moment, you know, Vascalis looking very strong and showing why he's the pro driver, and just has the edge, I think, over Callum Marshall for me after that first run. But you know what? We're going to switch him around, and 2 crazy drivers about to take to the circuit for the second half of this battle. And can Marshall overturn the advantage? He's going to have a clear track coming through this time around, Ian. Won't have to worry about that smoke, and he's just got to hope that Vascalis doesn't have an answer for him in the chase position.
Yeah, listen, we've seen Aramis Vascalis to go a little bit too hard before in chase position. Can he tone it down a little bit and keep it together? Well, we're about to find out. Callum Marshall now sits in that lead position.
So here we go, Marshall to lead them in. A crazy Scot and a crazy Lithuanian Oh,
wow.
big angle from Vasquez as he goes super aggressive through the first section.
Oh, and Vasquez again throwing on big angle. This is looking scrappy for Vasquez. He needs to calm down a little bit now, Eddie, and start to apply some pressure on the door. Callum Marshall could go through to a pro grade 8 as Vasquez now starts to get on the door and push Callum Marshall over the line. Give him a round of applause, Driftland.
What about that composure from Callum Marshall as the crazy Lithuanian? I don't know, did he throw it away in?
Do you know what? I don't even know, Eddie. I don't even know.
So we await the judges' decision, and it looks as though they have finished their deliberations, entering their scores, entering their notes, and as we await the scores to appear on our screen, who's it going to be? Is it going to be Armas Vasquez? Is it going to be Callum Marshall? A space in the grade 8 awaits. Slide him left for Marshall, right for Vasquez. Kieran, David and Ben. Kieran, David and Ben, all in favour of your winner, Callum Marshall. Judges, Callum Marshall getting the nod over the 2 runs. Vasquez not doing enough to take it into the top 8.
Sorry about that. We were all just still discussing the do's and the don'ts to that run, to be fair. Aramis had a good lead run, but not much proximity from Callum. He was offline a bit, trying to make the ground up. But it all came down to the second run, where Aramis had a massive error between clips 1 and 2. Callum ran a really good lead line. It was a 7-3 advantage to Callum on the second run, which gave him the win against the 6-4 from the first one.
So there you go. Getting the win and advancing through. Pro-Am driver Callum Marshall really putting it all out there this weekend. We move it along to our next belt. It will be Matt Stevenson to take on Paul Smith. These guys both very handsome, but you know, Matt Stevenson saying he's better looking than the Mexican.
A lot of very handsome people in the British Drift Championship, I have to say. But you know, I think both of these guys could probably pass for Mexicans. Matt Stevenson, not too unlike a Mexican himself, but Mr. Smokey Smith. We are ready to go. Stevenson leaves the line. Paul Smith to give chase. Stevenson as the higher qualifier.
Whoa, look at that. Big entry from Stevenson as fires it in, but look at Smokey Smith as he uses his composure behind. Look at the proximity from Paul Smith as he pushes on the door of the DKM-sponsored Matt Stevenson. Stevenson now gets back into it, but look at Paul Smith as they transition through the smoke. Paul Smith makes another dive on the door. Can he keep a hold of it?
Yeah, big error there from Paul Smith, though, as he tries to just dial the speed out of that car so quick through that section. Piles on a lot of angle, but keeps in it and just keeps that aggression throughout the remainder of the circuit. But, you know, a close one. A few errors creeping into the run from both drivers, but Matt Stevenson looking on form this weekend.
Yeah, a very good lead drive there from Matt Stevenson. Paul Smith, though, in chase position, looking strong. Like you say, little error coming into clipping point 5, too aggressive on the dive, but let's see how they are when they turn them around, as Paul Smith now is in lead position. Matt Stevenson got to try and get that proximity that Paul Smith had. So judges just deliberating this one before we go, and they give the thumbs up. We are ready to go. It will be Paul Smith to lead in Matt Stevenson. Stevenson really now got to try and wind the screw in, Eddie, and get on the door as they come down.
Yeah, look at the aggression right from the off side by side
yeah,
through the first section.
Wow! Look at Matt Stevenson right on the rear corner of that.
Yeah, and a poor line here from Paul Smith as he misses that second clipping zone. Now we see a dive from Stevenson as he looks to go close.
Yeah, Stevenson now starting to fall behind a little bit as Smokey Smith stands on the accelerator and starts to drive away. Matt Stevenson not got the proximity, Eddie, as they take it over the line.
No, but I think Smith gained that proximity by cutting the course at clip 2, so judges will be looking at that one in, as it certainly looked as though Stevenson had the pace through the first corner, and that's where he starts to lose that ground, and from that point on then unable to regain the distance. Judges arguing over this one.
Yeah, judges going at this one, saying that wheels were dropped and circuit was cut to gain advantage, and we see there Martin Richards just got his crew down there trying to fix that Driftworks R32 Skyline.
Yeah, and of course time running out. Only 4 more battles after this one for him to and his team to get that car ready and back on track. But you can see, yeah, look, they obviously have the spares and the know-how to get it done. So I'd imagine with 4 battles they'll have plenty of time just to see Martin Richards perform in the grade 8.
So judges looking for a replay possibly of wheels dropped by one of the drivers, either Matt Stevenson or Paul Smith. Yeah, a replay coming up. And yet, first run from Matt Stevenson's lead. Stevenson puts on a very nice lead run. Look at that proximity though from Paul Smokey Smith. As Matt Stevenson doesn't really do a whole lot wrong, really. Look, just this error here from Paul Smokey Smith as he fires the car in, has to slow the car back down on the foot brake and then get back into it.
Yeah, so judges pretty happy with how they called that first run. So now, will they look for the replay of the second run? I think they will, just to go back over what exactly occurred. And I overheard. I'm not going to announce which way it went, but it was certainly an advantage to one driver. So here we see it again.
Yeah, look at this.
This is the second
yeah,
run.
like you say, Eddie, Smokey Smith doesn't really
offline there.
Yeah, he's not on the perfect lead line. Nice initiation, but doesn't carry it on. So yeah, I mean, look, very difficult one to judge. What do you guys here in attendance think? You want to see him go one more time? One person at Driftland wants to see him one more time. Who's a Paul Smith fan? Oh, there's a few Paul Smith fans. Who's a Matt Stevenson fan? Oh, it's about equal, Eddie. But they don't want to see him run one more time.
You know what? I wouldn't mind seeing them one more time, but at the same time, I want to get on with our top 16. I want to progress to that grade 8. I want to see the battles that it's going to produce. Don't forget, of course, if you are in attendance and you want to check out the full range of the British Drift Championship, Irish Drift Championship, and of course Drift Games merchandise, head over to Jess and the guys at the merchandise tent, and they will look after you with some of the coolest clothing around. They've got jumpers, t-shirts, beanie hats, sunglasses, key rings, lanyards, stickers, you name it, they got it. Everything to keep you looking cool. Jess, Jordan, and Amanda, they will be more than happy to help you out.
So it does look like our judges may have a decision. Eddie, you can see them putting their score into their tablet system.
So Dave and Kieran still discussing this one though. No, not anymore. Judge is coming true.
Yeah, the result is coming through. Who's going to take it through to the grade 8? Paul Smith on the left, Stevenson on the right. Oh, and there we go. Kieran, David and Ben make it unanimous. Matt Stevenson gets the win and advances through to the grade 8. Ladies and gentlemen, we go to our judges. A very, very hard decision for you guys. A lot of deliberating.
This was a tough one, and we had to watch the replay of both runs because there was errors on both. And on the first run with Matt in the lead position, he has a good lead, but at clip 5 he dials on a bit of angle there, and Paul Smith in the chase position, who had proximity to that point, he has an error, but we kind of blamed the error there on Matt's. It's just coming on to big angle, so Paul takes an advantage of 6-4 after the first one. On the second run, the issue starts for Paul in the lead position as he comes past one out from 1 to 2. He's on a poor enough line. He actually is off clip 2. He's on the curb as they head down towards 3. Matt Stevenson is doing well. He's mirroring away, but of course that puts him in a really awkward position below at clip 3. And Paul then cuts away from clip 3 early, cuts the inside of the track, drops a wheel, and Matt Stevenson mirrors him, but he drops a wheel as well. But that drop of the wheel there is not really his fault. He's just following a poor line, and he falls back from there on. So those errors were forced on him by the lead car's line. So we scored at a 7-3 to Matt Stevenson the second run. So on the second run, he takes the win.
So there we go, Eddie. Matt Stevenson getting the win, advances through to the grade 8. We move it along to a battle that Adam Simmons said he wasn't worried about. He wasn't worried about this one. Well, he needs to be. It's Dwayne McKeever, unbeaten, pound for pound, the best drifter in the UK and Ireland at the moment. Adam Simmons to take on the Northern Smoke Machine.
Yeah, look, I think for the likes of Adam Simmons here, it's important to respect McKeever and the challenge, but not let it get, be too built up in your head. And, at the end of the day, he's just another driver, and he can be taken down the same as everybody. It's just about finding the way to do it. It's about going all out, proving that you are good enough to do it, and that you have the stuff in your locker to pull off the result. Here we go, McKeever to lead in Simmons, and
look at this.
The gap opens up.
Yeah, big separation already, but McKeever dropping wheels. Simmons stays on that qualifying line, ever so slightly shallow as he starts to cut the circuit to gain proximity.
But a big straighten here from Simmons as well.
Yeah, Simmons now starting to try to force some proximity on the door, but McKeever looks dominant out front as he absolutely sticks to that qualifying line and takes it. across the finish line. Yeah, Simmons looking scrappy in that chase position.
Yeah, look, McKeever gets a little bit too wide, drops a couple of wheels, but I don't think Simmons really had an answer for the line either, and you know, had to cut the circuit to try and gain that proximity. You know, we talk about McKeever being so quick, and Adam Simmons found out all about it just there.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So we've swapped him around. It will now be Adam Simmons to lead out Dwayne McKeever. As you can see, Dwayne McKeever in the background, just holding back off the line, maybe on the radio to his spotter.
Yeah, Dwayne McKeever, of course, made a name for himself in the chase position. We have seen him battle with the likes of James Dean and just be glued to his door from such an early age. He's been competing since he's 13 years of age in the Irish Championship. He's coming over here. He wants to do the 2 championships, IDC, BDC, for 2018. Here we go.
Look at this aggression already. Look at this door on door as McKeever starts to push. Slide motorsport, Adam Simmons around. Adam Simmons on the wrong line as he comes down into clipping point 3 now. Look at this from McKeever. Starts to force some pressure again as they come through clipping point 4. Big transition from McKeever. Almost takes the back bumper off the rear of that Slide Motorsport R33. They come across the line. Driftland, give it up for Dwayne McKeever and Adam Simmons.
Yeah, you know, look, McKeever looked fast in the first run, but certainly not looking invincible in the second run.
No, exactly. So we wait to see if our judges have a decision. I can see them putting it in to their tablets now.
So will it be McKeever? Will it be Simmons? Scores are coming through. Slide him left for Simmons, right for McKeever. Kieran, David and Ben. It's unanimous. Dwayne McKeever moves on to the grade 8. Round of applause, though, for Adam Simmons. Unfortunately, his weekend will end there. He'll go back to the pits and cheer on Slide Motorsport teammates Matt Stevenson and Jason Clark. But Dwayne McKeever gets the job done and progresses on to the grade 8.
Yeah, we go to our judges for a quick decision on that one.
Yeah, so, you know what? Good fight from Simmons there. However, the speed of McKeever, he couldn't handle it in the first run. He had to cut the track quite a bit. And, of course, if you're cutting the track and you're not within proximity, you're losing points. So, a small advantage to McKeever. Even though he dropped the wheel on the first run, he was pretty wide around the rest of the circuit and pretty good. Second run, exceptional chase run from McKeever. He rubbed Simmons, in my opinion, a little bit, but not enough to upset him. And it was probably the best chase run of the day we've seen. So, he gets the reward of 7-3 on that and goes through to the next stage of competition.
So Dwayne McKeever's impressing our judges, and we move on. 3 battles left, which means 3 spaces in the grade 8 up for grabs. Brett Perry and Mike Marshall, who is going to take it through. Perry, the higher qualifier, but Marshall has that experience, has that championship under his belt. Hasn't produced the same sort of form, though, since that. Can he recreate it here this afternoon? Can he move on into the grade 8, where he would face Dwayne McKeever in that chase position? On the first half of this battle, Brett Perry has looked really strong in.
Yeah, Brett Perry does look very, very strong. Like we say, judges saying they like his lead line well. Can he keep it up, or can Mike Marshall stick it to the door as they both fire it in? A separation on initiation. Mike Marshall just keeping the same distance between those guys. Both guys on a very nice line. And Brett Perry on that perfect lead line.
Marshall looks to make the dive, looks to go aggressive, but gets a little bit caught.
Yeah. Jumps on the foot brake but can't keep in it. Can he now stick it to the door as they bring it around the final turn? And Marshall just creeping up on the rear end of that R33 Skyline.
So really nice run there from both drivers, and you know what, we've talked all afternoon and morning about the line from Brett Perry. Judges really, you know, pointed it out in this morning's practice as that being a line that they really enjoyed watching and that they were really happy with. So him replicating that again, very good for his cause. Now it's up to Marshall to try and produce something similar in the lead position, but we know Perry has similar pace. I expect him to go close here in the second half of this battle.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, like you say, both these guys not scared to use all the power they have. 550 horsepower from both of these cars. As they come off the line, it will be Mike Marshall now to lead out Brett Perry.
Yeah, Marshall through the chicane, Perry to tuck in behind. And as they go side by side through the first section, Marshall now with a nice angle and a nice line. Perry now needs to just bring himself back into this one, makes a dive as Marshall drops a wheel.
Oh.
And 3 wheels off track and
yeah, wow,
shuts
and
it
shuts
down.
Mike Marshall shuts it down. Knew he got himself in trouble. Gets himself in trouble and he falls off circuit, and we need to make it official, but it looks like he hands the win to Brett Perry, who will advance through to battle Dwayne McKeever. And yet decision in from our judges.
So here we go, Marshall or Perry. Who's it going to be? Kieran, David, and Ben. I'm pretty sure it's going to be unanimous. All in favor of, there you have it, Brett Perry. Brett Perry goes through. No need to go to our judges on that one, but hearing that we do have your mate.
He's my good friend, very good friend.
Down in the pits with none other than Dwayne McKeeves. Nathan, are you down there?
Oh, I certainly am here, Petal Pie. See, I'm down here with the main man, the Northern Smoke Machine. Now, I asked you earlier on how you were feeling. I said to you, do you feel pressure? And your answer was?
Pressure for tires.
Pressure is for tires. Now, I thought about that for 10 minutes, and then I got it. It was a joke. Hilarious. Thank you very much. I enjoyed that one. I like a joke myself. You're into the top 8. I had a chat with the other drivers. How you feeling? You still look, your arms behind your side. You kind of pull it in a nonchalant face. How you feeling?
Yeah, confident. Not really phased here at all this weekend, to be honest, really, and just happy to be here, and really, not really feeling any pressure at all.
So your questions you want to know is, where's my trophy and who's shining it up for me? Well, I'll try and find that information out, but I'll tell you what, you might be confident, but there's another chap just over the way. The Mexican Devil, he's feeling good. I've had a chat with Martin Richards. I know he's had a couple of mishaps with his vehicle, but he's feeling good. They say you're going down. You'll say you're not. I can't wait to see the battle's climax in the top 2 and see who goes home with the gold. Dwayne McKeeves, best of luck, my friend. We'll catch up with you.
So there we go. Nathan Black getting all the hot gossip in the pits, Eddie.
Yeah, look, he's doing an okay job.
Oh, he's good. He's good at it. He's getting really good at it.
I will say he's starting to learn a little bit more, and you know, he knows a few drivers' names. We got to move it on though. Carter and Phillips. Phillips, you know what? He's sitting down there on that top 16 parade, and when you were speaking to him, he seemed like, you know what, this is where he belongs. This is where he's wanted to be, and it's time for him to shine. And what better place to do it than against the reigning champion?
Exactly. Listen, it's been a long time coming for Ian Phillips, and like he says, he's broke the curse. He's made it into a pro top 16, and he's going to be feeling on top of the world. And listen, there's no other person he'd want to battle, and that's going to be Matt Carter. Matt Carter, those guys are going to go hard. Matt Carter in the lead position, as Ian Phillips now going to give chase.
Yeah, he's going to have to produce his best as Phillips here against the door hunter, who has looked good this morning, and this car back up, running 100%, and Matt Carter behind the wheel, a very confident driver on a perfect liner as Biz Phillips looks to get back into this one, shallowing it up to try and gain that proximity, makes a dive onto the door, but just can't get close enough to cause a problem for Matt Carter.
No, just can't get close enough, like you say, and the pace in that Jap Speed Maxxis tyres R32 is just phenomenal with Matt Carter such a drive away.
Yeah, Matt Carter looking really good out there, and you know, the pace in that R32 really good. Those Maxxis tyres just really gripping up so well around this circuit. And at the moment, Ian Biz Phillips probably thinking to himself, what do I have to do on the second half of this run to try and pull a gap on the door hunter, because he looks like he's got that bit of pace. And of course, these drivers can't readjust the tyre pressures midway through the battle. You got to run what you brung. And Phillips knows he's up against it here. The spotters will be on the radio to him, letting him know you gotta try and be fast. You gotta nail the line, because the door hunter just nailed his one and you just didn't really have an answer for it. Here we go. Through the chicane goes Phillips, bringing the chase is Carter.
Yeah, look at this Carter just giving Phillips some room as Phillips fires it in now. Carter starts to gain up onto him. Look at Matt Carter as he dives onto the door of Ian Phillips's 350Z. Door on door all the way. Matt Carter putting on a masterclass now of chase driving as they come into cutting point 4. Nice transition back. Carter applies the pressure again, sits on the door and rides it out as Ian Phillips puts his arm out the window. Give him a round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. What an absolutely brilliant lead and chase from both of those guys.
Well, no need to ask why they call him the door hunter anyway. So, pretty confident I know which way this one is going from the judges. Score creeps in onto our screen. Who's it going to be? Is it going to be Biz Phillips? Is it going to be Carter? Left for Phillips, right for Carter. Kieran, David and Ben. It's unanimous. Matt Carter is going through to the grade 8. Round of applause for him. A round of applause to Ian Phillips. We go quickly to the judges. Pretty clear cut over the 2 runs. Matt Carter taking it.
Yeah, that's right, Eddie. Fantastic chase run there from Matt Carter. Biz just having no answer to the pace that Matt had got. And Matt playing a very smart line there, just giving him a bit of room. It was a great lead run there by Biz for Matt to be able to force the proximity and taking a strong 7-3 on both runs.
So there we go, at 7-3 on both runs for Matt Carter, and that leaves one more battle left in our top 16, and it will be Richard Grinrod to take on Jason Clark. Now, this one.
What's funny about this is two drivers that we discussed this morning. One of them is definitely going through to the Grade 8 and an opportunity to take down and take on the reigning champion. But you know what? Try to pick a winner here because these two have just been phenomenal. This is going to be hard fought, no doubt, because both these drivers have just looked so confident. Who's going to take it through? One of them's going to grab it by the scruff of the neck here, Ian.
Yeah, one of these guys is going to walk away with a Grade 8 finish as the minimum this weekend, as Grinrod sits in a lead position. Jason Clark to give chase. What has Jason Clark got? Look at this. No separation as Clark throws it in behind Grinrod. Grinrod stands on the accelerator. Can he drive away? Look at Jason Clark, though. Forcing some aggression straight away as they come into Clipping Point 3. Big aggression from Clark again as they come into 4.
Yeah, Clark just dragging himself into this one, just not letting Grinrod get away. He doesn't want to give up. Not an ounce of quit inside that RX-7 as Grinrod does everything he can to try and pull a gap. That's what we expected, an absolute dogfight from these two warriors.
Yeah, an absolute dogfight, like you say, Eddie, and the big transition from Richard Grinrod in the middle of the circuit was just phenomenal. He fired that car from Clipping Point 4 to 5 and left Jason Clark standing. Clark had nowhere to go. Now,
but what about the dives from Clark? The aggression, the will to get there, the will to get on the door. He wanted to be up in the face of Richard Grinrod as they move back to the line. I'm not sure what's going to happen on the second half of this one, Ian, but I guarantee it's going to be explosions the entire way around. Grinrod's team are going to know. They're going to be in the air telling him he has to give it everything.
Yeah, listen, this is going to be a hard-fought battle for Clark right now. We know that Grinrod's got the pace in that car. It's a very, very fast car. Judges want to see a replay of this. Look, as we look back, look how fast Grinrod's car is, but look at the pace that Clark carries.
Yeah, the forward bite in that RX-7 is insane.
Watch this from, look at this, bang, throws that car.
Yeah, you look, I mean...
And just, there is no answer.
Jason Clark caught a little bit there as well on the inside, had to back out to allow Grinrod to transition safely and then try and get back into it. So, you know, did the clever thing to avoid the accident, but cost him that little bit of ground.
Yeah, it definitely cost him the ground, but they are swapped around, and now it will be Clark to lead out Grinrod. Grinrod's got the pace. Is he going to put it on the door? Well, we're about to find out. We know Clark's got that very good lead line. As they come off at the start line and through the chicane, it's Clark to leading Grinrod. Look at Grinrod on the back bumper of the RX-7 straight away, and Grinrod trying to force some pressure from the get-go. Shallow angle from Grinrod though, but Clark on a very good lead line.
Now the big dive from Grinrod into that teardrop section, Ian. Sheer aggression again from both drivers, and another dive. Has Grinrod just pulled himself into this one and done enough to take it over the 2 runs? Door to door as they cross the line. Driftland, show your appreciation.
Yeah, phenomenal stuff as Eddie loses every little bit of his voice.
Puberty was bound to hit at some point.
So we are waiting for the decision from our judges on this one. Who's going to take it through to the Grade 8? Will it be Grinrod? Will it be Clark? Grinrod looks like an unstoppable force. So judges just deliberating this one. Ladies and gentlemen, give them a round of applause as they step out of the car. And our start line, Marshall Melks looking to take home that beautiful E36 of Richard Grinrod's. But we can only have one winner. We can only have one more driver in the Grade 8. Who is going to take it? Will it be Grinrod? Will it be Clark?
Yes, a nervous wait for both of these drivers in, as it would mean the world to both of them to get into that Grade 8 and have that opportunity against Carter. I mean, you know, a battle against Carter, you could take down Carter and move into the final of 4, but look at this, rain starting to pitter-patter down onto the circuit again, and it's light enough, but it will cause trouble for our Grade 8 drivers.
Yeah, it certainly will, Eddie, and it looks like the score is going to drop in from our judges.
And interesting enough, I'll come to it in just a moment, Ian.
And who is going to take it through to the Grade 8? Slide them left for Clark, right for Grinrod. Kieran, David and Ben, it's unanimous. It's a one more time, ladies and gentlemen. So one more time. Judges, we are going to quickly come to you. No splitting these two guys.
Well, I could go on and on for 6 weeks about everything that happened in that battle, but I'll make it very, very clear. Both have exceptional runs. Jason's chase run much stronger on the first half of the course, and Richard's much stronger on the second half of the course. Richard misses clip 4 for me, which cuts Jason off a little bit, and then Jason makes the error of not having as strong a finish as Richard. I think both of those mistakes cancel each other out, meaning that with 2 excellent lead runs and 2 aggressive chases, I think we want to see this one go one more time.
So there we go, and we are going to see those guys make their way just back to the pits quickly to check their cars over. But I do believe my buddy Nathan Black, Eddie, has got a local Scotsman to interview. What have you got for us, Nathan?
Oh, I've got a whole lot of things, many, many things. And we're down here at the start line with Mr. Callum Marshall. Came 3rd yesterday in the Pro-Am Series. And while everybody's been talking about Dwayne, Martin Richards and the rest of the Crazy Cats, this guy snuck in at the last moment. We're going to have a chat. How you feeling? 3rd yesterday. You're in the Great 8 today. Sum it up for me if you can. How you feeling? And can you win this?
I don't know about winning, but I'm absolutely speechless to be here. Doesn't feel real, to be fair. I just honestly don't know what to say. I'm lost for words.
Basically what he says is, Dwayne, bring it. Richards, bring it. You're all racing for second. I'm taking it home. I like your confidence. And as far as I'm concerned, you got it in the bag. You're my main man. Come on, give it up. Then we're back with you later.
So thank you, dude. He's a good guy. He's really getting in the mix now of all these drivers and learning everyone, and he's a good guy.
Yeah, he's okay. Anyway, we got drifting on the track. Martin Richards, one of Martin is going to be going into the final 4. Will it be Richards? Will it be Wallacott? Interestingly enough, though, Martin Richards getting that car down to the grid in time. The team working tirelessly and fixing that car. Now, highest qualifier, Richards. Wallacott qualifies in 8th position, goes straight to the top 16. He's on the weekend of a lifetime right now. Looks so quick. Can he outpace Martin Richards? Can he stick it on the door of the Driftworks R32 as they get ready to leave the line? Richards through the chicane. Wallacott to take the chase position.
Well,
here we go.
And look at this from Martin Wallacott, not scared to stick it on the door of first place qualifier. Almost over-rotates though, as the changing weather conditions make it sketchy. Both guys dropping wheels. And Richards just about holding it on circuit. Can he make it round as Wallacott now starts to gain some lost ground after the mistake on initiation? The rain hampering these guys' performance right now. As you can see, Richards standing on it, hardly any tyre smoke as Wallacott smokes out the grandstand.
Yeah, Wallacott unfortunately getting caught on entry, unfamiliar with the grip levels out on the circuit, and just dials on too much angle and gets caught completely. Richards, it wasn't a perfect run from him by any means, but certainly considering the change in the grip levels on the track, doing enough. And it was a very, very brief little drop of rain, and it is cleared up already, but that the conditions on the circuit certainly changed, and it will be like that for the next few runs until it manages to dry out again. What can we see on the second half of this battle? Can Martin Wallacott do enough to get himself into a final 4? Here we go.
Well, look at this aggression from Richards as he fires it on the back bumper of Wallacott coming in very hot. As Richards now looks like he makes a mistake, cuts the circuit ever so slightly to gain that proximity. Martin Wallacott on a very good lead line and not scared to have the first place qualifier all over the door of that JZX 100 as Wallacott doing everything he can to try and outpace Martin Richards, but Richards sticks it to the door, Eddie, on the final turn.
Yeah, Richards bringing serious aggression in through the final sections. And you know what? Experienced drivers know. They know that what's gone on in the first run, and he just knew. Richards knew that all he had to do at the last section was just apply the right amount of aggression just towards the end, and it'll be enough to bring him into the final 4. We need to make it official as we wait the judges' decisions. Will it be Richards in the final 4? Will it be Wallacott, Kieran, David and Ben? Kieran goes Wallacott or Richards, David goes Richards, Ben goes Richards. It's unanimous. All 3 judges in favour of Martin Richards. Unfortunately, the dream ends there for Martin Wallacott. We go back to the judges for a brief explanation. Judges?
On the first run there, Martin Richards is a good run. Yeah, he does drop a wheel there coming past 2, but that was only minor. Apart from that, it was a good lead. Martin Wallacott though gets kind of caught, initiates and comes through clip 1, and then he dials on a lot of angle. He kind of slightly over-rotates. He recovers and he gets back on his door near the end, but it was just a little bit too late. So Martin Richards takes his advantage in the first one, and I think everybody saw there with Martin had a great chase on the second run, took an advantage on that one as well. So for both runs, Martin Richards from us.
So there you go, Martin Richards getting the winner going through. But you know what, Martin Wonnacott wants to hold his head high. What a drive this weekend. That guy is coming on very, very well. We move it along to our next battle, which will be Matt Stevenson's take on Callum Marshall.
Yes, the man that we just spoke to, or well, that Nathan just spoke to, and a man of few words, can't really believe where he is or where he has found himself today at round 3 of the British Drift Championship. But you know what? The dream is alive, and I don't know. He's had a little bit of luck against BMWs already this afternoon, so could we see him taking down Matt Stevenson?
Yeah, well, listen, Callum Marshall, this is just the dream come true for him. And, yeah, quietly destroying the pro grid is Callum Marshall right now as Matt Stevenson and him sit on the line. Matt Stevenson, the higher qualifier, will lead them out. And Callum Marshall going to do everything he can to chase him down as they come through. Matt Stevenson with a big opposite flick, but look at Marshall tagging the wall on initiation as he shallows up now, starts to make a dive. Matt Stevenson on a very good lead line, giving Callum Marshall the opportunity to get nice and close to the door. Locking up that front wheel is Callum Marshall.
Yeah, you can see the kick up of smoke from that front wheel as he just locks it up, carrying big pace as he made that dive. And you know what? Certainly not looking like a fish out of water, maybe not matching the angle of Matt Stevenson, but what about that for a run from Callum Marshall? Ladies and gentlemen, show your appreciation. Really putting it to the pro driver is Callum Marshall.
Listen, that was phenomenal from Callum Marshall on that chase drive. I'd go as far as saying Callum Marshall's got a foot in the top 4.
You know what, Ian? I would not disagree with you. And if he does go to the top 4, he has 2 shots at the podium and an opportunity to take down Martin Richards. What would that mean to the young man here this weekend? But look, he's got the second half of this battle to worry about, and a Matt Stevenson who was on serious form here. Stevenson needs to be aggressive and needs to put it on the door, though.
Yeah, he definitely does. As they come off the line, Callum Marshall to lead in Stevenson. Stevenson's spotter would have been told him, you need to push Callum Marshall. But look at the pace of Callum Marshall as he fires it in. Very nice line from Marshall. And Stevenson throws on some big angle. Can he catch him up?
Oh, and a spin from Stevenson.
Spin from Stevenson.
A spin from Stevenson, would you believe it? Callum
Absolutely
Marshall
unbelievable.
moves to the final 4. Insane. Don't you ever tell me that drifting is predictable.
A fire in Matt Stevenson's car as they run over with fire extinguishers to put that car out. Matt Stevenson's car on fire as Callum Marshall finishes off the run in spectacular style.
Ladies and gentlemen, a round of applause for Matt Stevenson. So unfortunate, the vehicle going up in flames. It looks as though our team got to that just in time, and you can see his quick reactions himself, getting out of the car with his fire extinguisher in hand. And very, very unfortunate scenes, but yeah, it looks as though they have that quenched, and very quick response from our team of marshals. Guys, one more time, round of applause for Matt Stevenson.
Yeah, as we can see there, Matt Stevenson just gives his car a little tap on the roof. We're going to get that guy recovered off circuit. Give him a round of applause, Driftland, he can hear you. Absolutely ruining everything he owns right now for your entertainment, but we do need to make it official. And
looking to make that official from the judges, but of course a spin, and our marshals just having a quick look underneath that car just to see, can we see a little bit something potentially broken on the ground. It's a little bit blurry, Ian.
Yeah, very blurry, trying to make out what. So coming up to the result, let's make it official and see Callum Marshall into the final 4. There we go, Kieran, David and Ben make it official. Callum Marshall gets the win and advances through to the final 4, ladies and gentlemen. But as he makes his way off circuit, get Matt Stevenson a round of applause. And look, ladies and gentlemen, on the camera, it looks like potentially a gearbox or an engine failure for Matt Stevenson.
Yeah, very unfortunate scenes from Matt Stevenson, but of course a great team behind him, and he will get that car sorted and back out for round 4 as Callum Marshall, we see just leaving the circuit, and he just cannot believe his luck right now. He's going to be going up against Martin Richards, and I, for one, would not count him out.
No way. Listen, if I was Martin Richards, I'd be thinking, this guy is completely unknown. Nobody knows who he is, where he's come from. And listen, he's unstoppable at the moment. He's had the most seat time on this circuit. So we're finding out now from our marshals that Matt Stevenson's engine failed and blew a conrod through the block and caught fire. I mean, what an end to the weekend there for Matt Stevenson. He has to go back now and build a brand new engine for that car for round 4.
Look, and even more disheartening when you consider the form that he was on as well. You know, it looked as though it was a real shot for him to take it into the final 4 and, you know, have that opportunity to take home a podium place as well. As we see just on the screens there, Callum Marshall.
Yeah, it's Callum Marshall just going to make his way out of his vehicle, potentially. Is he going to sit there? So we are going to go down. I can see Nathan. He's trying to get a passenger ride off of Callum Marshall. Saying, Nathan, what you got?
Microphone, Nathan.
We're back on. We are here, and we're the guy down to the final 4. Continue what you were saying. You're accelerated. You're into the final 4. Give me your words.
I'm absolutely gobsmacked. I'm shaking with excitement and disbelief. It's honestly.
Now, before I came over, they didn't tell me that you were running a vehicle about a third of the power, and that you were got a local Scot here. People, what do we think? Is this guy going on with the goal? The crowd are going absolutely wild for you. Look at him. Look at Scotland. Give it up for the homeboy. Listen, you've gone to the final 4, and let's see if you can do better than the English did a week ago. That's the main man, Mr. Marshall. We'll catch up with him.
Thanks, Nathan. Yeah, so Callum Marshall, I mean, look, this guy's having an unbelievable weekend right now, and he is living the dream. He's in the final 4, and
has
Eddie,
a choice to whether or not he wants to take a pro license. How about that?
So he now he's in the final 4. He gets the opportunity to take a pro license.
I, for one, want to see him in the pro championship. Do you guys want to see Callum Marshall take the pro license? Damn right you do.
Yeah, I mean, listen, he would be wasted to not see Callum Marshall in the pro grid.
So that leaves us with the return to the top 16. One more spot to be decided. Richard Grinrod, one more time with Jason Clark. Very little to separate those two guys on their first battle. A few little errors creeping into the second run. We're going to see them one more time. The judges wanted to see it one more time. We spoke about these two guys. We picked them out early on. We said expect to see them in contention later on in the afternoon. One of them is going through to the Grade 8. One spot remains. 2 of those final 4 spots already decided, and 2 remain. So we are almost set to go. The opportunity to face Matt Carter. Who's going to go through? Is it going to be Grinrod? Is it going to be Clark? Is it going to be Team Driftworks? Is it going to be Team Slide at Motorsports? See Jason Clark on your screen just warming his tires. We are almost ready to go. 1 spot in the Grade 8 remains.
Yeah, who's going to take it? Like you say, Eddie, is it going to be Grinrod? Is it going to be Clark? These guys know each other now. They know the track conditions. And our judges give the thumbs up. Our track marshal gets the thumbs up. We are ready to go for the final battle of top 16. Then we will be back into our Grade 8 battles as Grinrod jumps off the line. Jason Clark now had that aggression before, Eddie. Can he bring it again? And it looks like he certainly can. His tags on the back bumper of Grinrod's E36 BMW. Grinrod firing that car, and look at Jason Clark, so much aggression on an absolute perfect line.
Yeah, like a dog with a bone is Jason Clark right now as he tries everything he can to intimidate Richard Grinrod in that lead position, but Grinrod looking unfazed.
Oh, look at
just
this.
dropping a couple of wheels.
Yeah, Jason
Both
Clark.
these drivers on the absolute limits.
Yeah, Jason Clark had the aggression that time on that final turn, got on the door and pushed Richard Grinrod over the line. Absolutely brilliant battles from both those guys.
Yeah, again, you know, look, sheer aggression on the limit driving for both these drivers. A few little errors, a couple of wheels dropped throughout the circuit, but I'm not going to fault them for that. They are pushing to the maximum, and that is exactly what we want to see. This is the fight that is in some of these English drivers. This is what we came to see, and it's what they're producing. It is phenomenal. I'm so excited to watch the second half of this battle.
Yeah, exactly. This is going to be something incredible right now as Jason Clark sits in that lead position. Grinrod to give chase. We know Grinrod's got a little bit of extra pace. Can he force the win? Well, we're going to find out right now as Clark and Grinrod come off the line. And Grinrod almost makes contact with the back end of Jason Clark's RX-7. Clark nearly gets it wrong with a big angle initiation.
Yeah, but Clark starts to lose a couple of wheels, but
Grinrod's falling off circuit. Grinrod slips on the marbles and loses a whole bunch of ground now. He needs to start pushing it back. Can he get back on the door? He makes another dive as Grinrod gets back into it again, wheel on wheel, as they come past the grandstand and across the line. Give it up, Driftland. Wow. Unbelievable stuff from Richard Grinrod. He looked like he was almost out of that battle then as he started falling off circuit, and he managed to pull himself back into it. Look at the initiation, almost tags the back end of Jason Clark's car.
I don't think Matt Carter is going to be looking forward to facing either
Look
of
at
these
this.
two drivers.
Grinrod
They
makes
are
a
wild.
huge. Grinrod makes a huge
Massive
error
error.
and then gets what? Look how quick he gets back in it, Eddie. Jason Clark drops a wheel and Grinrod
what
says,
about that for a dive? Look at this, and he's wheel on wheel all the way to the end of the circuit here. I mean, talk about driving control. Insane stuff from both guys.
Wow, so we needed to decide a winner. Our judges
Guys
taking
ready the
down
cars,
notes.
hit them with a wall of sound. Grinrod and Jason Clark giving it absolutely everything for your entertainment. Here comes the result. Who's going through? Is it going to be Clark? Is it going to be Grinrod? Kieran, David and Ben. 3 votes for Jason Clark. Jason Clark takes it through. Unfortunately, the end of Richard Grinrod. We go to the judges. Talk us through it. Them guys really putting it on the line out there.
It's phenomenal driving, essentially. I think it's the best head-to-head we've seen all day. Two guys on the top of their game, but there's a couple of errors creeping in there despite all the entertainment. On the first run, Grinrod, he drops wheels twice. One wheel in front of us, another wheel as he's coming towards pit 5, towards 6, towards the finish. He goes a little too wide there. Jason does have a bit of a wobble in the middle of the center section, but he had enough proximity from the rest of the run just to take a slight advantage. It would have been more if he hadn't have had that wobble. In the second run, well, Clark gets a little touch before the first initiation point, probably puts him on a little bit too much angle or unsettles him, but he stays in it. Grinrod's got good proximity, but then he washes massively wide after clipping zone 2, kind of messing up his run. And then after that, he's got a great finish, but sort of the damage was done at that point. Clark does really well after the contact all the way through the run and takes an advantage on the second run, enough to overturn, or enough to add to his first advantage from the first run, meaning he togs up more scores than Grinrod and goes through. Great driving, though, from both drivers.
So there you go, 2 very, very good battles from both those guys, but we need to move it along, and the next battle is going to be a good one. It's going to be Brett Perry to take on Dwayne McKeever. Now, Perry's saying he's not fussed. He's not phased that Dwayne McKeever is pound for pound the best guy in the UK and Ireland right now. He says the Northern Smoke Machine ain't nothing.
But a ting.
But a ting. So let's see what Brett Perry's got. He's got all the style when it comes to the line, but can he outpace Dwayne McKeever? Listen, this guy is super fast. But the rain starts to fall again here at Driftland, and you know what? Starts to make it a bit of a level playing field right now, Eddie.
Ooh, as Dwayne McKeever nearly loses his door. And you know what? Yeah, look, it levels it out a little bit. But then, of course, Dwayne McKeever is a very skilled driver in the wet conditions also. So, you know what? Don't count him out. He might take away some of his pace, but it certainly won't take away his chasing ability and his ability to nail that qualifying line. What has Perry got as Perry tries to get the jump down the straight in?
Oh, big clutch kick from McKeever as he initiates, fires that car in. Oh, and Perry almost gets it wrong, and Perry gets it very wrong, Eddie, in front of the judging tower, as McKeever, the absolute master, puts in a phenomenal lead run, and Perry spins. Just too much pressure trying to chase down Dwayne McKeever, the pace that guy carried.
Yeah, look, as I say, Dwayne McKeever, he's got so much experience driving in the wet, won't be one bit phased by it, and you know, unfortunately for Perry, getting caught out with those tricky conditions, and hands a 10-0 advantage to Dwayne McKeever. Not something you want to be doing.
No, listen, and right now Dwayne McKeever's in the chase position, very dangerous place to be with a 10-0 deficit.
Yeah, look, I think McKeever might just hang back a little bit here and you know, just see what Perry does through the first corner before he decides to you know, close down the gap and get on the door of the Skyline and the RJB driver.
Exactly, Eddie. So we have them on the line. We are just waiting for Nathan Black to get off the circuit. Come on, Nathan. He's just strolling along over there. So they're off the line, ready to go for the second half of the battle. It will be Brett Perry to lead in Dwayne McKeever for a spot in the final four. As they fire it in, McKeever, like you say, Eddie, just giving Brett Perry a little bit of room. Perry this time, though, makes it through clipping point 2, and McKeever is right with him as he starts to push on the door. McKeever almost dropping wheels following Brett Perry's line. Perry going
Perry
very
dropping,
wide.
I think, as well, as he goes to the extreme. He certainly makes the necessary adjustments to the conditions here. There's Perry doing a really good job in the lead position. All credit to him, because you know, when it mattered, he tried his best, but from that lead position, very hard to force an error. And McKeever, look, he's unfazed. He is cool, calm, and collected, and very hard to, I suppose, get into the head of Dwayne McKeever right now. If 20 grand 2 weeks ago in IDC can't phase him, then I'm not sure what can. Brett Perry or McKeever, who's going through? Pretty obvious one. Kieran, David, and Ben, just to make it official. Spin on the first run, all in favour of your winner, Dwayne McKeever, who moves through to the final four. No need to go to the judges on that one.
No need to go to the judges, like you say. And yeah, look, Dwayne McKeever just getting the result and moving through. Brett Perry knows that. Unfortunately, a spin is a 0, and we moving on to the final battle of our Great 8. It will be Matt Carter to battle Jason Clark. And you know what? The rain has fell now, Eddie, and the track is damp.
It's greasy out there. It's tricky.
It could go anyway. 800 horsepower versus 500 horsepower. R32 versus RX7.
Carter versus Clark. And a spot in the final four. One spot remains, and the chance to go up against Dwayne McKeever. I know Carter would relish the opportunity to take down Dwayne McKeever. But you know what? He's got a problem on his hands right now, because Jason Clark, we talked about it, and he's producing it when it matters. He is on fire.
Yeah, I mean, listen, this one could go either way, and we can just see Martin Richards giving Matt Carr a little bit of encouragement down there, punching his window and spurring him on a little bit.
I'm not sure if that's encouragement. I think that's intimidation and harassment.
No, that's definitely some encouragement. Those guys go back a long way, and
don't ruin it for me, Ian, okay? They're fighting down in the pits.
They're fighting down like gladiators.
So here we go. They're on the line. Carter versus Clark. Skyline versus RX7. Maxis versus... What tires are you running? Tri-Ace. Tri-Ace tires, not RX7.
Yeah, here we go. It's going to be Matt Carter to lead out Jason Clark. Jason Clark knows he can't give Carter an inch, and he doesn't. They fire it in door. Look at Jason Clark. Jason Clark just backs out of it ever so slightly as Carter finds some much-needed grip. Now, can he get away from it? Or can Clark get back in it? Clark makes a dive as they come into clipping point 4. Clark all over the side of the Jap Speed R32 as he makes another dive again.
Puffs the black smoke out of Carter's engine. So Carter and Clark, 2 runs. But as I say, little puffs of black smoke out of coming from the exhaust of Carter's car. I'm not sure if you caught it on your screens, Ian.
Yeah, we did catch it at the external wastegate. Yeah, you know what? That's Carter pushing very, very hard. That's what that is. He was just trying to escape Jason Clark. You know, you would have felt him right there, right on the door. And you know what? Now Matt Carter's got to return the favour, Eddie. He's got to get on the door and prove why he is the door hunter and why he is the 2017 Pro Champion.
Yeah, I think he has his wiper blade connected up to his heart rate, because it is absolutely pulsating right now. As they leave the line, Clark to lead in Carter. Here we go.
Oh, and almost contact as Clark fires that RX-7 in Carter. Oh, wheel drop from Jason Clark as Matt Carter, unfazed, stays with him. Both guys wash wide, and another wheel drop there from Jason Clark. He's starting to feel the pressure. Wheels dropping again from Clark. Is this too much for Clark to handle? As Matt Carter applies the pressure on the final turn and gets wheel to wheel with Slide Motorsport pushing him across the line. Driftland, give it up for Jason Clark and Matt Carter.
Yeah, possibly the occasion getting to the Slide Motorsport driver. You know, big prospects, opportunity to go into the final 4 and take down the current champion. Huge opportunity, but no shame. I'm not sure which way this is going to go, but if Clark doesn't progress, he can be proud of the way he has steered that vehicle today.
Yeah, exactly. Finding himself in the Great 8 is a very good move this weekend for Jason Clark. But Matt Carter would like nothing more, like you say, than to battle Dwayne McKeever. Decision is going to drop in. Who's going to take it through to the final 4? Slide them left for Clark, right for Carter. Kieran says Carter, Dave says Carter, Ben says Carter. It's unanimous. Matt Carter gets the win and goes through. Jason Clark bows out of competition. Jason Clark is one tough man to beat at the moment.
Yeah, that's right, Ian. Jace put a very, very good chase run in there against Matt Carter. Wasn't a lot to give the advantage to Matt, so we went 6-4 on that. But Matt Carter put in a storming chase run in. Jason dropping a wheel at clip between clip 1 and 2, and again near clip 3. So it went 6-3 advantage to Matt Carter with that 7-3, and a solid chase run there, giving the advantage and the win to Matt Carter.
So there you go, Matt Carter getting the win and advancing through to the final 4, leaving just 4 guys left to go, ladies and gentlemen, and the first battle. I mean, listen, Callum Marshall couldn't have dreamt this in a million.
He's going to win it. He's going to win the whole thing.
Well, listen, he's hoping so, and I'm sure everyone here at Driftland wants him to. It's going to be Martin Richards, your first place qualifier, to take on Callum Marshall for a spot in the final. Who's a Driftworks Martin Richards fan? Who's a Callum Marshall fan? Way outweighed. Way outweighed is Martin Richards. He might not get out of Scotland if he beats Callum Marshall.
I'm not sure he has the stuff to beat Callum Marshall right now. Callum Marshall is on fire. Here we go. Richards to lead them in. The Flying Scot to give chase. Richards through the chicane. Here we go.
Here we go. Callum Marshall to chase down Richards. And look at this. Callum Marshall not scared of Martin Richards as they fire it in on the wall. Callum Marshall right with Martin Richards. Richards dials on the angle through clipping point 2, but look at Callum Marshall now starts to hunt down the door of that Driftworks R32. Shallows up angle on both of these cars, and Callum Marshall is right there with Martin Richards as he makes a dive on the door already.
Yeah, and he's maintained this proximity the entirety of the run. Look at this from a Pro-Am driver in the final 4. Driftland, show your appreciation. Insane. Martin Richards has a problem.
Yeah, listen, Martin Richards now needs to repay the favour in a big way. He needs to push even harder than what Callum Marshall did. Callum Marshall was absolutely flying.
I mean, how do you top that? I mean, in these conditions as well, to get that close and maintain it the entire way around the circuit. I mean, Callum Marshall, for me right now, is looking like the stronger driver.
Wow, that's a bold statement, Eddie, right now. But, well, we're going to find out. We've got them back on the line. They are swapped around. Judges deliberate in the first half of that battle. Our Starline Marshall Melks just having a word with Callum Marshall, making sure he is all good. He must be absolutely pumping inside that car right now. And you know what? Martin Richards sitting there considering, could I get taken out by a Pro-Am on my championship hopes shattered? Well, there's only one person that stands in the way, and Callum Marshall's doing a good job of it so far. They're off the line, and Marshall to leading Richards as Richards starts to get the jump. And look at Martin Richards starts to make the dive. But Callum Marshall is absolutely flying, dropping wheels. Richards giving him some room now, starts to make the dive on clipping point 3. Oh, and wheels again, and contact as Richards starts to push Callum
But
Marshall.
drivers stay in it, Ian.
Callum Marshall getting pushed. Oh, and Richards takes the bumper off his car as Richards makes contact and they stay in it. Drift work. Wow. Driftland makes some noise for Martin Richards and Callum Marshall. What?
Martin Richards knew. He knew. He had to give it everything. He had to bully Callum Marshall
look at this,
if he wanted a spot in the final.
Almost contact on the initiation. Richards backs out of it, loses some ground. Marshall loses wheels over the edge of the circuit. Look at this. Now, Richards starts to make the dive. Marshall drops a wheel, bam, and then gets caught by Richards. Richards hits him again, and again. They stay in it on the transition. Bam! Takes the front bumper off, smashes the headlight. Martin Richards says, I'm not going down without a fight, buddy. Gets back on the door and pushes Callum Marshall over the line.
Ladies and gentlemen, they are out of the cars. It hit them with a wall of sound. Callum Marshall, Martin Richards.
Absolutely phenomenal driving as our track staff now try and clear up the remnants of Martin Richards' car. And our judges seeing another replay of this, Eddie.
Yeah, look, we got to put an end to this exciting driving. My voice can't handle it. It's MIA. Yeah, look.
And a big wheel drop there from Callum Marshall, fires him back on circuit. And
I can only assume that, you know, the adrenaline just pumping through the veins of Callum Marshall and just maybe that little bit too much. And but you know what? I expect that we are going to see a hell of a lot more from this young man. And look at this.
Bam. Takes
Bumpers off. Back in it. Back on the power. Callum says, you know what? I don't care. I'm not fazed by a bit of contact. I'm keeping in it. Round of applause, ladies and gentlemen, as they wait the decision. Who is going through to the final? Waiting another replay, the judges saying. So this one, very close.
This is a very close battle. I mean, listen, if judges are looking for fault, could Martin Richards' championship hang in the balance? Could Callum Marshall find himself in a pro final? I mean, for me, a few errors from Marshall, but still, could judges say that the contact from Richards be a factor? This is very difficult and a hard one to explain. Judges look like they have made a decision though, and the scores get inputted into their system. Who wants to see Martin Richards go through to the final? Who wants to see Callum Marshall in the final? Wow, Driftland come alive.
I am not sure we've heard as big a roar all season in the British Drift Championship.
Whatever way this goes for Callum Marshall, he's going to find himself battling it one more time for a place on the podium. Our decision is in. And Driftland falls silent. Slide him left for Marshall, right for Martin Richards. Kieran says Richards. David says Richards. It's unanimous. Martin Richards gets the win. But Driftland raised the roof for Callum Marshall. What a guy. Judges, Pro-Am driver, absolutely pushing these pros to the limit.
Absolutely phenomenal showing from Marshall there. But when you break it down, I mean, I know we've got a Scottish crowd here and everyone wants to see him on the podium, but we have to go back to the criteria and the technicality here. But to be honest, on the first run, Marshall's looking really good. Great chase. Could have been closer at times on the track, but he does a great job. Now, he's doing that great job because Martin Richards put in a phenomenal lead run. So an advantage to Marshall after the first run. On the second run, when we initiate, it looks like Marshall's looking good. Richards is cutting the track, but Marshall goes way too fast. At tip 2, he's almost 2 wheels off the track. Then he's almost too fast as he comes around the hairpin. He drops the wheel into the dirt and actually comes on the brakes. And that's the first contact between the two cars. So Richards hits him. We say, look, that's fine at that point. But the real nail in the coffin comes with the contact on the front bumper of Richards' car and Marshall. We watched the replay a couple of times. For whatever reason, on the transition, Marshall hesitates. And he actually hesitates and slows, which actually causes Richards to go into the back of him. It's not easy on first glance, but when we watched it in full time on the replay, he does slow up. And as he slows up, Richards is not anticipating that. He makes contact. And then again, the advantage swings towards Richards on the second run, and a much greater advantage, in fact, because it sort of shut the run down. And therefore, Richards takes the win over the 2 runs.
Yeah, and just to add to that, in the briefing we explain where you can slow, where you're not to slow. Okay, coming down to 3 is a deceleration zone marked, but 4 to 5, the transition from 4 to 5 and out to 6 is full throttle or maintain your speed. You cannot slow. The chase car can't anticipate a car slowing him in front of him at that point because they shouldn't. So there's the transition that caught Callum there, unfortunately.
So there we go. Richards finds himself a place in the final. Callum Marshall awaits a battle for 3rd and 4th place. And
no matter what happens, I want to say it, no matter what happens in that battle, he goes away the hero of the weekend for me. The hero of the whole season so far for me. What a man.
Yeah, so we need to move it along. One more battle remaining. We need one more driver in the final and one in 3rd and 4th. Dwayne McKeever to take on Matt Carter. These guys.
If Dwayne McKeever is going to go undefeated in this round, he's got to take down Carter and then Richards.
Well, listen, McKeever's work doesn't get any easier. He's got to take on your 2017 Pro Champion. McKeever sits in lead position. Carter and Chase, they're off the line. It's McKeever to lead in Carter for a spot in the final right now here at Driftland, and McKeever fires that car in on the wall. Carter gives him a little bit of room. Carter on a very shallow line though, trying to gain some proximity as McKeever fires that car down the hill, but here comes Matt Carter now as he starts to gain some proximity in the centre of the circuit. A big dive from Matt Carter, but he finds himself in his own track. Oh, contact from Matt Carter on wheel to wheel with Dwayne McKeever. They come across the line.
Yeah, contact there from Carter, but Carter found himself offline the entirety of that run, just trying to keep with the pace of McKeever. And, you know, it looks as though he may have broken an arm.
Yeah, so Dwayne,
a steering
looks
arm,
like,
that is.
yeah, potentially. Yeah, I mean, listen, it was a wheel-on-wheel big hit from Matt Carter on Dwayne McKeever, and it was a big, brave dive from from Matt Carter. And look at this, you can see Matt Carter cutting the circuit, shallow angle, just cannot keep up with the pace of Dwayne McKeever's car. As they come round clipping point 4.
And this is where it is. He's way out of position here, has nowhere to go.
Way offline, makes
and
a
wheel
dive.
to wheel, yeah. And you can just see that wheel wobble, yeah, from Dwayne McKeever, and unsettles it, not able to complete the rest of the run. And
or is it Ben? Does it look like it's fine? Or is it Matt Carter who's broke a steering arm? Matt Carter. Both these guys look like. No, Matt Carter. Dwayne McKeever looks like he's fine, but it could be Matt Carter with the issue.
I think both drivers are going to head back to the pits just to check over the cars and make sure they're safe, because of course they're hitting speeds of 60 to 70 miles per hour as they enter in that first corner onto the wall and facing a very dangerous banked section of the circuit.
So yeah, I mean, listen, both these guys going to go into the pits. Not sure, judges deliberating it, so they're going to basically give somebody a competition timeout at some point. I'm guessing Dwayne McKeever gets a competition timeout, a 10-minute competition timeout. And Dave Egan has his hand up. So Dave, something to say there?
Just to clarify, obviously on that run, Dwayne McKeever gets hit by Matt Carter. It's not Dwayne McKeever's fault. That steering issue didn't really count for much. So at the end of the run, it's not a 10-0 as both drivers finished the run. It's a 9-1 from our perspective to Matt Carter. Scrappy run at the end there. But of course, the fault not with Dwayne McKeever means he gets a competition timeout now and some time, not a lot of time this stage of the competition to finish get his car fixed up.
So there you go, 10 minutes for Dwayne McKeever to get his car fixed, as both those guys in the pits. And yeah, I mean, not the way that Matt Carter would have wanted that to go, or Dwayne McKeever, but yeah, heavy contact in the middle of the circuit. So don't forget, like we say, early bird tickets on sale now for round 4 at Three Sisters Race Circuit, September the 15th and 16th. Do not miss out, a brand new circuit for the British Drift Championship this year, the Backlash, as we have named it this year.
And just to clarify, that's a 9-1 advantage to McKeever and not to Carter,
Yeah,
just in case there was any confusion.
I got a mistake there. Obviously, I mean, it's pretty clear. Obviously, it was no fault of McKeever, so a 9-1 towards him on the first run.
Yeah, so as we were saying, yeah, tickets on sale now. Get on the British Drift Championship website, purchase your early bird tickets.
Yeah, and look, if this round was anything to go by, I mean, look, you come to a new circuit, which will be for round 4. It's a complete leveler, and we just see the team at McKeever Motorsport on screen getting underneath that car and trying to fix it. Dwayne McKeever himself out of the car, trying to fix the problem. You can see him with the impact gun, trying to take that wheel off just so they can work on it, of course, at this stage of the competition. Normally, if it was a bit earlier with that competition timeout, you'd have to the end of the bracket. 10 minutes to get it done. Connor Shanahan's feet, I believe, on screen as he looks to offer his assistance as well.
Yeah, a few guys down there trying to get a hand in and fight and work out what's happened. Looks like possibly a bent steering arm again. Another car facing a bent steering arm with contact. And don't forget, before the shop shuts, not long to go before the end of the day here. So if you want to grab yourself some merchandise before you head home, head down to the British Drift Championship merchandise shop here, just behind the judging tower. Jess, Jordan and Amanda will hook you up with some real cool merchandise. T-shirts, hoodies, ponchos, key rings, stickers, hats, sunglasses, pretty much anything that's sellable is for sale.
Look, if they can make you and me look cool, which they have, they can make anybody look cool. And David Egan has his hand up again. Class has resumed.
We're going to give you a little update on the rules and what's happening right now, because of course I wrote the rule book, so it's handy for me to reference it when things like this happen.
Bestseller, I believe.
But it is. It's top drawer. You can get it in any major book store. So basically what's happened here is Dwayne McKeever has a competition timeout, which is an allocated amount of time to get that car fixed. If he doesn't get it fixed in that amount of time, he still has a 5-minute rule remaining, which he can add on to the end of that, okay? Now, Matt Carter only has a 5-minute rule because he's at fault for the collision, so he is taking the front wheels off the car. Of course, you're not allowed to take the rear wheels off the car unless it's a D-beat or a puncture, but he's allowed to take the front wheels off the car because they're obviously no advantage because he has a broken wheel on the front of the car. So Carter has to go back to the track within the allocated time and wait for McKeever, who is going to have more time than him. That's how it's working out right now.
So, yeah, and I mean, I'm guessing if Dwayne McKeever doesn't make it back out on circuit,
he would automatically
win and go through to the final, but he will finish in second place.
But he would
hand in Martin Richards the win.
Yes.
Is that right, Dave Egan?
But it would also hand Callum Marshall.
So technically, if Dwayne McKeever can't make it back out on circuit, he wins the battle, goes to the final, but can't battle Richards for first or second, so finishes second at this event.
And Carter could no longer compete, so we'd have our podium decided without any battles.
Without any battles.
Absolutely. So if Dwayne
that'd be
McKeever
wow.
cannot get back on track, that is the end of competition, essentially. So let's hope he can.
Let's hope. Yeah, I mean, listen, I want nothing more to see these guys battle again. And listen, I know Martin Richards, as much as he wants that top step on the podium, wouldn't want to take that from another driver without battling door on door. And Richards is looking.
So essentially, I say give Dwayne McKeever all the time in the world to
well,
get this
listen,
fixed.
it's Sunday night, and I know all these people here at Driftland have got work in the morning. And listen, and Jeek would probably complain if we went overtime. So
I'm not sure Jeek is the type to complain. Look, I've got a flight to catch, but I'm not really too worried about it. I want to see some action on the track. I want to see these guys fight it out for the top spot. We don't want to see this decided by...
No, and it looks like we do have Martin Richards making his way out circuit, and Matt Carter as well. So Matt Carter is ready to go. And look at that, the crew down there at McKeever's pits have got the car back together. The wheel is going on. I mean, phenomenal stuff from these guys.
If you're fluent in Northern Irish, you probably have a better idea as to what's going on than we do, but I is all I can hear. That sounds positive to me as Conor Shanahan prepares himself for a career in the Formula One.
I think he's more settled to a guy behind the wheel going on his drive in the last 2 years.
Here we go, the guy's just making sure that that wheel is nice and tight, because the last thing you want is for the wheel to fall off. And it looks as though we are good to go.
I mean, look at that, guys. What a phenomenal show of effort from the guys down there in the McKeever pit. And Conor Shanahan, yeah, just putting the wheel on and helping out. As he makes his way back out on circuit, ladies and gentlemen, I want everybody here to give Dwayne McKeever and his crew a round of applause. What unbelievable stuff, and it does give us a final battle and one more run of the second half of the battle between...
Well, let's wait and see, does he actually get to the line?
So they're trying to, they're going to track the car up ever so slightly now by eye, I'm guessing.
So yeah, you can just see, I mean, look, I'd love to have any idea or any understanding as to what it is that these guys do and what all this means, but it certainly looks as though, yeah, just tightening things up. It looks like, or making adjustments. Is that what that is? It's
yeah, just making some adjustments to the tracking. Maybe it was out. I know these guys run WiseFab, and all of that stuff pretty much comes in the box, tracked up, ready to go. You can fit it and just run with it as it is. But some slight adjustments needed to be made there to Dwayne's car. Looks pretty good. Mechanic throws the spanners on the floor, which means it is all systems go. Like I say, ladies and gentlemen, as he makes his way back out circuit, I want everyone here to show some appreciation to Dwayne McKeever and his guys.
Yes, beating the clock, and of course, Conor Shanahan, just some final words. Is there something else wrong? Oh, the bumper.
No, the bumper. They want the bumper on, yeah.
Yeah. Of course, these guys spent hours in the wind tunnel, setting this car up. Yeah, aerodynamic. Yes. And look at this, the legend that is
Callum Marshall. Yeah, Callum Marshall makes his way back out on circuit. As Dwayne McKeever now starts to make his way back.
I wonder, does Callum Marshall have a girlfriend?
Why do you want to be his boyfriend?
No, because I imagine he will have a girlfriend or a lot of options after this. Oh, he has one already.
He has a girlfriend already.
Okay. Well, hold on tight.
Somebody's been creeping on his profile.
Yeah. Hold on tight to him, because he's probably going to have a few inbox messages. Maybe just check his phone later this evening and tomorrow morning. And
so
what was that, Kieran Hines? Oh yeah, Nathan, obviously. Yeah.
Oh yeah, Nathan, obviously.
No surprise there. But that'll be different. That's just a stalker rather than anything else.
Exactly. So as he comes on circuit, ladies and gentlemen, give him a round of applause. Dwayne McKeever and his crew putting it all on the line for you guys, and you know what a valiant effort from the crew down there. Look at that, McKeever just making sure it feels the best it can. And Matt Carter right now sits with a 9-1 deficit, Eddie. I mean,
look, this car just has to be good enough to get around the circuit. That's what it needs to be right now for Dwayne McKeever. Good enough to get around the circuit. He still has his 5-minute rule intact, should he require it for either the 3rd or 4th place playoff or the final. Driftland, are you guys ready to see the second half of this battle? A few of them are. We got a 9-1 advantage.
And as well, Driftworks have lent Matt Carter a wheel to get out. So how about that? And you know what? Dwayne McKeever sponsored by Driftworks. So
yeah, look.
Ultimate sportsmanship in the pits right now.
It's all one big family, especially at the top. These guys know each other so well. The windscreen wipers waving to each other. And we are ready to go. Jap Speed versus McKeever Motorsport. Who's going to be...
Yeah, who's going to take it as now Matt Carter leads out Dwayne McKeever. Carter fires it on the wall. Look at Dwayne McKeever on the door as he just has to back out of it ever so slightly without making more contact again. These guys pushing very, very hard as they come down the hill. Look at McKeever all over the side of that Jap Speed R32. McKeever finishing off this battle in style. As Matt Carter spins in front of the grandstand. Give him a round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. Arm out the window from Matt Carter, who pushed 110%.
Yeah, look, I think at that point it was all she wrote. McKeever had it in the bag, an insane chase run, and Carter just, falls at the final hurdle. But I think it was all over at that point regardless, and I think we have a final.
Yeah, I think we do have a final. Let's make it official, though. Kieran, David and Ben, make it official. Dwayne McKeever gets the win and goes through to the final. Matt Carter will battle Callum Marshall for the 3rd step on the podium. And those guys get out, give each other a well-deserved hug, and...
Yeah, look, they enjoyed that one. Guys, give them a round of applause. Matt Carter, we're going to see him again momentarily in the 3rd and 4th place playoff against the Flying Scot. But you know what? Martin Richards has a chance for redemption against Dwayne McKeever. The only thing he's been missing is the top step of the podium in 2018. Can he take down his biggest rival so far this season? Can he beat the unbeatable? Can he take top spot and deprive Dwayne McKeever of an unbeaten season? We will find out shortly. But we got that 3rd and 4th place playoff battle to worry about right now, Ian, and I think it's going to be a big one.
Yeah, exactly. Listen, Callum Marshall looks on form. Matt Carter heads back to the pits, so we are going to have a momentary break before we get that 3rd and 4th place playoff underway. And like we say, don't forget, tickets on sale now for round 4 at Three Sisters, September 15th and 16th. Get yourself along there. It's going to be a phenomenal circuit. I keep saying it, a brand new circuit for the British Drift Championship. Means a lot to us and the drivers. And we are going to take a quick word to say thank you to our sponsors. Obviously, without these guys, none of this possible, and we wouldn't be able to live stream this free around the world, Eddie, and put on the best show we can possibly put on for you guys here in attendance. So a massive thank you to AMD Details, Brian James Trailers, Cosmos Racing Wheels, Funk Motorsport, Jap Speed, JDM Distro, Link ECU, Monster Energy, M-Tech Brakes, Samco Sport, Simpson Race Products, VP Race Fuels, and Zestino Tyres. Like I say, without those guys, Eddie, nobody would be able to see your beautiful face. Or Nathan Black's beautiful haircut.
You like his haircut?
No, not really, but I just thought I'd say it. He's my mate.
You know you're live on camera. You're supposed to pretend that you like him.
Oh, okay.
Remember?
Yeah, sorry.
Can't both hate him.
He's got a lot of fans.
He certainly, yeah. Look, people like him. He adds a little bit of an element. He's a little bit simple. So yeah, look on your screens if you're watching at home. Don't forget early bird tickets still on sale for limited early bird tickets, mind you, still on sale for Backlash round 4.
Yeah, the Backlash.
And it is going to be incredible. Look, if regardless of what happens in the final, there's very little separating McKeever and Martin Richards. So round 4 could be where it is decided. So make sure you get your tickets nice and early. Also, check out online the official merchandise of the British Drift Championship and the Irish Drift Championship, and of course the Drift Games Life clothing range as well, all online on Drift Games Life or driftgames.life. If you're here in attendance, make sure and check it out at the merchandise tent. Jess, will look after you down in the pits.
Yeah, and Josh Holdsworth there, our media guy, looking dashing in his BDC t-shirt. So we are just waiting for Matt Carter to return to the circuit. And we are going to go to Dave Egan. Dave Egan.
We're just noticing an interesting statistic here that the guys who qualified first, second and third are all in the top 4 and joined by a Pro-Am driver from Saturday. So it's a pretty fantastic finish. And looking forward to seeing how it goes. The one thing we were just discussing was where Dwayne McKeever would have a very big advantage in terms of speed generally. But the conditions the way they are, all 4 drivers now have an equal opportunity here, which is something we haven't seen for a while. So it's going to be very interesting to watch.
Yeah, exactly. Listen, and for me, Martin Richards, hungry, like you say, not a lot separating it. And sitting second in the championship right now, a win for Martin Richards could overturn the championship and put him on the map again. And we know he's hungry for that championship win. He wants to head to Europe next year to compete in the Drift Masters European Championship. So does Dwayne McKeever. So listen, we could see plenty more of this Dwayne McKeever, Martin Richards scenario for the next year or so. And the rain now, Eddie, I've just seen beaten down on the circuit.
Yeah,
really
absolutely. Look, I think it's going to be the story of the season as to, you know, can Martin Richards overcome McKeever? Look, he's podiumed already at 2 rounds. He's been first, he's been second. But we got one more thing that's a little bit more important right now, and that is the final step on the podium. 3rd and 4th place playoff about to be decided. Carter makes his way back to the track. Matt Carter, Callum Marshall, one of them's going home with a trophy, one of them's going home with a 4th place finish. One of them's a pro driver, one of them is a Pro-Am driver coming through from yesterday's competition. I'm not sure what's going to happen here. One of them is a 2017 British Drift champion. He's got a bit of a fan base. One of them is a Scot, and he's got a massive following here in Driftland.
Yeah, listen, Matt Carter sits on the line with all the experience that anyone could want. But right about now, he is not sure if the unknown entity, Callum Marshall, is going to take him down, Eddie.
Yeah, well, look, he's going to have been watching some of the earlier runs, and he's going to watch what Marshall was able to do against Martin Richards. So he knows the level that Marshall is at. He knows the ability that Marshall is at. He'll know that he can trust his line, having watched it all weekend. His team will have been watching as well, very closely. Carter is not going to underestimate the challenger.
No, exactly. No, and like Dave Egan said, it's a wet circuit, so here they come. It'll be Matt Carter to leading Callum Marshall for the 3rd step on the podium as they fire it in. Callum Marshall right with Matt Carter. Matt Carter drops wheels though. Callum Marshall almost makes contact with Matt Carter, and Callum Marshall now gets back into the fight as Carter dives across the circuit.
Yeah, huge error for Matt Carter there as Callum Marshall almost looked and thought about making the overtake and then thought again about it. But Carter gets back on the line but can't shake Marshall. He was right there with him with the Flying Scotsman. Right now he's looking like the stronger driver and looking like he's carrying an advantage into the second half of this 3rd and 4th place playoff battle.
Yeah, exactly. Very, very good chase driving there from Callum Marshall. Very, very good stuff. So judges wanting to see a replay of the first corner as Matt Carter fires that car in. Look at this big angle from Carter, but drops wheels straight away. And Callum Marshall, look at this, stays in it, corrects to let Matt Carter back on track. And both those guys managed to put in pretty good runs after that. So, you know what, for me, I'm going to say advantage to Callum Marshall for that one.
Is Matt Carter's car shutting off?
Shutting off?
Or is he just trying to switch off the wipers?
No, Matt Carter is shaking his head inside the car.
He's shaking his head.
Is Matt Carter having car problems?
Has the car died? Is that the problem here from Carter? Just waiting to hear from our start line Marshall. The wiper was coming on and off.
No, he looks like he's ready to go. But he's shaking his head though. He's shaking his head inside the car.
Maybe he's just turning it off. Maybe
yeah, he knows he made a massive error though, Eddie, and he shook his head inside the car. He really needs to try and overturn this now without making any mistakes and force Callum Marshall into making the mistake himself. We are ready to go. Driftland, are you ready to go for your 3rd and 4th place playoff? Well, here they come. It's Callum Marshall to lead out Matt Carter for the 3rd step on the podium as Marshall fires it in. Oh, wow, look at this from Matt Carter on the door. As Callum Marshall on a very, very good lead line so far, but Matt Carter all over the side of that E36 BMW, Eddie.
Yeah, you know what? He's on a good line now, Marshall, but
he
very
got
poor.
Matt Carter got caught and had to make a big correction as they come wheel to wheel over the line. Driftland raised the roof for Matt Carter and Callum Marshall.
Yeah, I think just to correct you, very poor line from where I was watching it from Marshall. And yeah, just going to catch the replay. Look at this.
Yeah, look at this as they fire it in. Callum Marshall,
with a
falls
big
offline.
error, falls offline there and gets back on it, but opens the door for Carter to come in and gain that proximity. And then you spotted an error from Carter just here as he gets caught. Yeah.
Yeah, look at this. He gets caught. He's too far on the inside. Has to straighten massively and reinitiate. Gets back on the door already, but and proves his worth. But you know what? A couple of errors there from Matt Carter as the rain now starts to beat down heavily here at Driftland. Judges look like they have a decision. And here it comes. Who's going to take it the third step on the podium? Will it be your 2017 champion? Who's a Matt Carter fan? Who's a Callum Marshall fan? Here we go. Kieran Hines, slide him left for Callum Marshall, right for Matt Carter. Who's going to take the third step on the podium? Kieran says Callum Marshall. Dave Egan says Callum Marshall. Ben says Callum Marshall. It's unanimous. Callum Marshall takes the win and knocks Matt Carter out of competition. Callum Marshall, the Pro-Am driver, takes the third step on the podium. Judges, what about that?
Yeah, not as straightforward as the first look. The big error on that run is Matt Carter washing off the track from clip 1 to 2. He almost completely comes to a stop, meaning Marshall has no option, couldn't do anything, had to hold back. And after that run, we gave a very big 8-2 advantage to Callum Marshall. Now, he made hard work of it on the second half because he had a terrible lead run, not giving Carter much opportunity. But Carter, for me, got a little aggressive in the infield, caught himself up a little bit, and had a fantastic chase for the rest of it. So he almost overturned it, but we put it down as a 7-3, just not enough to overturn the big error from the first run, and Marshall takes the win.
So there you go, Eddie.
Marshall matters. Wow, wow, wow. What about that from Callum Marshall?
Yeah, and the local guy taking home the third step on the Pro-Am podium and the Pro podium this weekend, and now has guaranteed himself a Pro finish. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Matt Carter as he makes his way off circuit. What a phenomenal drive from that guy. He put it all on the line. But that, Eddie, means there is one more battle to go. The battle of the Titans. These guys have been going at it all year. Martin Richards to take on Dwayne McKeever. Now, Scotland, I know that your guy just took third step on the podium. But where's my Martin Richards fans at? Oh, they're getting bigger. Where's my Dwayne McKeever fans at? Oh, it's evenly matched, Eddie. Listen, they're warming their tyres, but before we send them, Scotland, I know it's cold, I know it's raining, but I need to see everybody on their feet. Everybody here at Driftland, please get on your feet. One last time. This is the final battle of the day. We are about to make history. Martin Richards purges his nitrous. He is primed and ready to go. Before we send cars, we need to hit these guys with a wall of sound. Driftland, make some noise for your final battle of round 3. Doing pretty good. They're on the line, we're ready to go. It's Richards to lead out McKeever. The rain is falling, Eddie, this is gonna be fireworks.
It is gonna be insane. Richards has his opportunity to take down McKeever. Can he do it though as they leave the line? Ian, over to you.
Martin Richards kicks the car sideways, big flick, but look at Dwayne McKeever! McKeever on the back bumper of Richards as they come door to door. Absolutely phenomenal from Dwayne McKeever, a masterclass in chase driving. Richards keeps his cool as they slow down massively coming in. McKeever nearly makes a huge error and almost comes to a straighten as they transition back. Yeah. McKeever now starting to force it on the door, Eddie.
Yeah, McKeever bringing the fight, almost got a little bit caught, but drop from Martin Richards as they take it across the line. Driftland, make some noise for your finalists.
Wow, unbelievable stuff. So we're going to get these guys swapped around. It will be Dwayne McKeever now to lead out Martin Richards. It's a level playing ground. The circuit is absolutely drenched with rain. Look at the front of Martin Richards' car taking damage. McKeever, can he be taken down by Martin Richards? Can we upset the championship here where the whole championship in Pro-Am has been turned upside down? They're on the line, ready to go. It's thumbs up from everybody. McKeever to lead in Richards for one last time of round 3. They're off the line and look at Richards, door and door already. With Dwayne McKeever they come. Big initiation from McKeever, but Richards fails to initiate. It gives McKeever some room to manoeuvre. This is not a good look for Richards right now. As
No,
McKeever
Richards
starts
really
to pull
dropping
away.
off here, Ian. Needs to pull his socks up because McKeever was glued to him the entirety of the run.
Yeah, look at this.
But McKeever washes a little bit.
Wow,
and opens
Richards.
the door for Richards to go back into this one.
Yeah, Richards starts to try and fire it on the door already, but this is not looking good right now for Richards as McKeever looks absolutely flawless, and they come across the line. Driftland raised a roof for Dwayne McKeever and Martin Richards. Wow.
Yeah, look, a real battle out there. Weather conditions making that a really tricky one for both drivers. But you know what? They gave it their all, and as they get out of the cars, Driftland, show your appreciation to your two finalists here this weekend, Dwayne McKeever and Martin Richards.
We have a decision.
So we didn't even have to ask the question. Dave Egan tells me we have a decision, ladies and gentlemen. Don't go anywhere. If you guys want to see the podium, gather down in front of the Monster Energy tent and the BDC merchandise tent. We will be doing the podium on circuit with our guys. So from me, I'm going to hand over to Nathan. Nathan, it's down to you, buddy.
Thanks. It's very nice of you to have me here for the final time here. And what an exhilarating it was. You know, the Scotsman took third place. The crowd absolutely loved it. It's always nice to see some homegrown talent. Did you hear him? Well, did you like that your guy came third? You're damn right you did. And it was an exhilarating battle. So I guess it's time to find out if it's going to be Dwayne or if it's going to be Mr. Richards. But before all of that, I've actually got something I need to attend to. Now, I was telling you about how Mr. Terrible Eddie was in the tower earlier. So earlier, I did send a letter to Mr. Dave Egan. And just before you finished, I have received a reply. Over here, please. The Viking man, do me a favour, just stand there. Put your face in. Yeah. I'm going to read this letter out from Dave Egan regarding Eddie Power. Check this out. Dear Nathan, thank you for your letter regarding your position in the BDC. It's good stuff. Your contributions to the drift scene has been wonderful and is a welcome addition to the BDC. I have looked over your complaint regarding commentator and host Eddie Power, and I agree he is small in height and his face is rather annoying. And you're right, he was not the ideal choice for presenting the British Drift Championship when we started. Yes! Points for me, you read that? And then, oh, there's more, one sec. However, Eddie has worked his heart over the last couple of years and has proved himself to be an outstanding commentator and host with a great attitude, excellent punctuality, and is overall a really nice, likable person. I suggest if you wish to keep your job here at the BDC, that you pipe down with your attitude, wind your neck in, and stop acting so entitled. Please don't send me a letter ever again. Yours sincerely, Dave Egan. P.S. No, you can't have a pay rise. £25 a day is more than adequate for what you do. Quite frankly, I think you're overpaid. David, this is no good. Why? Why is this? Why doesn't he see how great I am? I don't understand.
I'm sorry, dude. We've got to go. We've got to do a podium. So follow me as we go down and hand out some trophies. I'm sorry, Nathan. We'll cover that issue another day. So, ladies and gentlemen, I want to just say thank you to everybody here for coming out and standing in the rain. It's absolutely phenomenal, you guys, for to support UK drifting. But we need a podium. And this guy, unbelievable driving all weekend, taking third step. But this time on the pro podium, give it up for Callum Marshall, ladies and gentlemen. That means there's just one more to decide. These guys battled hard, they drove hard in changing weather conditions, but taking second step on the podium is Martin Richards, ladies and gentlemen. That means undefeated in UK and Ireland. Give it up for the Northern Smoke Machine, Dwayne McKeever! Ladies and gentlemen, from me, Nathan, Eddie, Dave, Ben and Kieran and everybody else here who worked their butts off for you guys, we will see you soon at Three Sisters for round 4 of the British Drift Championship. Safe journey home and see you very, very soon.
We are Funk Motorsport, your heat management specialists. Based in the UK, we strive for perfection, developing thermal products trusted by professional race teams and drivers worldwide. Performance, protection, reliability.
I've chosen to use VP racing fuel since I was a teenager racing motocross, which was 21 years ago now.
I've been using VP racing fuel for years, basically ever since I built my first race car, and you want to get that consistent fuel, it was VP through and through.
Absolutely,
right from the beginning.
That's the brand. Yeah, I've been using VP probably since I was 10 years old racing dirt bikes. There's so many different VP racing fuels to choose from. One of the best go-tos is definitely C16.
So we use C16 in our Formula Drift cars.
I run C16 in all my cars outside of this one here. The two race cars here at the track, we run the C85.
And my supercharged Coyote-powered Mustang that's over in Europe, we use MS109.
And a Ferrari car, I actually run MS109.
VP has been making racing fuel for 43 years. They're the official fuel of multiple top series globally. No matter where we are in the world, no matter what fuel we need, it's always consistent, it's always perfect and exactly what we're expecting and our tuners expecting. They support myself, my Drift Alliance bros, and for that, I'm extremely thankful. Keep making amazing fuels, and we'll keep out there having fun.
There's a reason that half the paddock, if not more here, runs Samco hose, and that's that nobody wants to be let down by a split water hose or a split boost hose. And with Samco, there's nothing to worry about.
With using these hoses, we get the reliability, they never burst, we can just rely on them, and that's all we need.
Half of the grid are running Semco hoses in their cars, and there's a reason for that. They're the best in the business.
I'm so happy to be running Samco hoses now, because in the past we have run other manufacturers' hoses and we have had the intercooler pipes collapsing, which obviously when you're under massive pressure on track, you have to be fully supportive and reliant on your hoses.
So a lot of people ask us over the years, you know, what hoses you run. Personally, I can't think of anything better than Samco. They do what they say on the tin, they work, they don't come loose, they don't fail on you, they don't pop. You can't beat Samco.